What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 17 of No Bucks Given, the round table where we just talk about basically whatever the hell we want to talk about. Hopefully you guys can hear us okay. Let us know if you guys can hear us in the chat. We want to thank each and every single one of you guys for joining us live. Apologies, it's a little late, a little later than usual. I kind of, I'll be honest, I lost track of the time, and I'm like, I'm like, fuck, it's 11, and like it took me I had to set everything up very quickly. So I believe we'll be joined by Canadian Basement a little later on, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
He just said 10 to 15 minutes.
Ah, see? Look at that. Just like I freaking knew it. Now, we want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat live. And, of course, we are not alone. Of course, you guys know me. I'm Connor. I'm the MC, I guess you could say, of this fun little podcast we got going on, which you can listen to on your favorite podcasting platforms, such as Apple, iHeartRadio, Google, Spotify, and everything in between. And if you haven't subscribed to the Horny Goat YouTube channel, make sure you do so. We are climbing that ladder as we are at 391 subscribers as of recording this episode. Watch, as soon as it comes out on audio stuff, we'll be down to like 388 or something like that. It always happens when like mention the subscriber counts. It just takes a little bit of it, but seriously, we've been it's been climbing up, which is great. We're inching ever so close. We're hoping to hit 500 by the end of June, and so we're getting close. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna hit it for sure, but I think we're dangerously close. Plus, we got some other cool stuff coming down the pipeline as well. Of course, I am not alone. I've got with me the tattooed mama herself, one half of the power couple of the Horny Goat channel. We've got Heather. What's up, Heather?
Not much. We're done moving.
Woohoo!
Now I'm part of unpacking.
I was about to say, you sound like, I love how you're like saying that mid-yawn because,
I was going to say she was yawning because like, I kept moving.
I thought it was my intro that she was yawning at, which is understandable because I just ramble on and on and on. But so I know we were talking a little bit beforehand we got on here. You finally gave keys to your old landlord. You must feel so like, freedom.
I knocked on the door and he opened it and I almost said, "Bitch!" Like keys at him, but it was good.
Oh man! And of course,
I handed the keys over and said thank you for renting the place to us for so long, and then got out of there.
And of course, we also got the lovely Gina as well this evening. What's up, Gina?
What's up, guys? How much?
Same old, same old.
Same old, just a different fucking day.
Well, it's No Bucks Given Day. It's a day where we can talk about all sorts of weird wackiness.
That's true. I ate McDonald's today and it made me sick. That's new. Well, that's not new, actually.
I was about to say, how is that new? McDonald's is like meat paste. So, I mean, well, actually,
dude,
Taco Bell's meat paste, in my opinion. As Heather holds up listen, KFC, all right? Heather's holding up a KFC box, those who are listening to us. Look.
I'm so jealous.
I have a love-hate relationship with KFC because on one hand, I think we were talking about this when we were doing
last night, yes.
Yeah, where like, if it's super greasy, it will nope. That is a whole lot of nope there. But if it's done right and it's not too overdone, then it's like, it is the good shit. And hey, it has nothing to do with the fact that the Colonel is our Horny Goat wrestling champion, but we'll talk about that another time point. But if you guys haven't checked out, by the way, all the other cool content we've got going on here, including 2 episodes of Horny Goat Wrestling, including the pay-per-view we did last night, go check it out. All the titles were on the line. It was a lot of fun, a lot of craziness, a lot of wackiness as we added some of the newer characters. And of course, we returned with the Marvel Roundtable last Monday doing Ant-Man. And if you guys want a really good Marvel Roundtable, I usually don't super promote them too much, but it's the big one. It's one of the big ones. We're going to be doing Captain America Civil War this Monday, which
I love that movie.
I will warn you, just from my own, I mean, there is a shit ton to talk about in that movie, in that episode. So join us on Monday if you guys want to join in on the Marvel Roundtable. But so Heather, I mean, you're finally out of the old place. I mean, I know that like the moving process is like stressful and it's just like, you know, fuck all this and just like, you know, like constant stress, constant craziness, because I work in property management, so I've seen it from both sides of the fence. But I mean, we were talking about this before. It felt weird like looking at it from like the outside of like, wow, I was here for so many years or however long it was.
August, it would have been 4 years we were there.
God damn. And you're in double the size now, right?
Long. I'm sorry, what? Gina.
Well, I just said it does not seem like it was that long because, like, I remember when you guys were living with JP's mom. Like, I remember when you guys first moved into that apartment.
Yeah, it was shortly before Wendy was born. That
Mhm.
August we moved in, and then that coming November, she was here.
I will say, like, having kids and doing that line of work, just, you know, with like moving and stuff, my sense of time is just gone. In the sense of like 30 days used to seem like a lot. Now it just goes by so damn quick.
Yeah,
yeah.
The apartment we were living in too. I mean, this office is 3/4 of the living room
God damn.
of the apartment.
Well, it dawned on me the other day that 'cause I was talking to my landlord, and she's like looking at my because she's a new landlord, right? And so she's looking at my file and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, you've been here a while," and I'm like, "Yeah, 13 years," and I'm like, "Holy shit, I've lived here 13 years! Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah, it like hits you like that. You're like, wow, I have been here.
And my landlord kind of like goes, "Oh wow." She goes, "Well, the upside," she said, "if you ever do like leave us," and I'm thinking in my head, "Please God, for the love of fucking God, please let me leave." But she's like, "Well, when you do leave us, the upside is you've lived here for 13 years and you don't even have so much as a single complaint or a single bad mark in your file at all." So she's like, chances are you're going to get a really, really, really good recommendation.
You know, it's funny, without going into detail, we got that where we get landlord verifications all the time, requested at our work at my place. And there's one person who is one of, you know, we have trouble people. Every apartment complex does have like the troublemakers and the riffraffs. And this person's been there for a very, very long time. And someone came around with a landlord verification. It was one of those things where it's like, do I tell them the truth or do I not go into details? As Heather's doing a very interesting workout routine there, deadlifting Wendy. Do I tell the truth or do I not and be like, yeah, everything's fine, so that they move out of our place, you know?
Right.
That's
well,
like,
yeah, because she was looking, and she's like, "You've lived here for 13 years, and you don't have not one complaint, not one write-up, not a single bad remark at all." And I'm like, "No." And I also don't have any damage in my apartment aside from the flooring that you know I can't help because it's the new flooring. And she's like, "Holy shit!" Like that's literally what she says. She's like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit!"
it's rare that we get people, again, just from my side of the fence, where like everything's crystal clean. I mean, we have people who, you know, no issues whatsoever, but more often than not, we're dealing with people who do give issues. And goddamn, I could give you stories for days of like experiences and interactions with, you know, because I've done it for 10 years, about like different situations, different circumstances, you know, residents fighting, the way that apartments have been left in certain conditions, both good and bad. I could go on for hours. We'll probably save that for another episode of No Bucks Given. But But we want to thank everybody who's joining us in the chat as we're just kind of getting everything all set up here. We of course got the usuals, the regulars, the awesome peeps that are always in our chats. We got Alpha joining us. We got Federico. We've got Jurgen, who has a job interview this coming Tuesday. You got this, Jurgen. You're gonna knock it out of the park, my friend. So I know you're gonna do very, very well. Basement is in the chat. Like I said, he'll be joining us a little later on. Real Cody is also joining us as well. And appreciate you guys coming in and checking things out. We'll be posting some polls and interaction with you guys in the chat throughout the evening. And of course, if you guys want to check out all the articles and stuff that we'll be talking about tonight, it is in the description. So make sure you guys check them out if you guys want to get a little bit of a sneak peek and little hodgepodge of all sorts of, I mean, it's always a hodgepodge of different articles and different topics, so we got a lot of cool, there's one particular story that I'm like, yeah, that's kind of right up our alley, and we'll save that one for last, of course. It looks like we also got, is that JP or is that you, Heather, on there?
Me typing on his account.
Okay. JP and Heather switch personalities more than Amber Heard in the chat, so
oh my god,
sometimes hard to tell. But speaking of which, I guess we might as well start this one off with I mean, obviously the Amber Heard stuff is stuff that's like being mentioned and talked about all throughout, so I'm not gonna beat it over like a dead horse. And
no, please do beat it like a dead horse.
Just beat it.
Emerging from the, I swear, I love the fact that I still love the fact that like your guys' office has the door. Yeah, the door, and it's like a fucking sitcom. It's like Kramer walking in the door and just kind of being like, oh, what the fuck. JP is also joining us this evening. What is up, good sir?
Not much, man, not much. One stressor down, one more to go.
What's the one left to go?
Oh, well, it has to do with money.
Money's always a
It's
stressor.
nothing. It's just, it's not. Well,
Yeah,
something
you have to go in- you have
happened.
to go into detail.
I think I told you guys what happened.
Yeah, off air. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But hey, at least you guys are moved into.
It's being handled.
We're just waiting for the final word.
Yeah.
That was like $80.
Oh, what do I hear?
And just in time to talk about all the fun topics, we've got everyone's favorite bear from upstairs. We got Canadian Basement with us. What's up, Basement?
How dare you be late?
Is he alive?
Probably barely.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Barely, I get that.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
How dare you? Okay. How
I
dare
love how
you?
he said in the chat that he would complain about me to my landlord.
I don't know. She doesn't make enough noise. I think she's dead.
I'm like, they
Oh,
wouldn't believe
don't
you.
don't fucking get me started on like,
I've dealt with that shit.
don't get me started on fucking like wellness checks. I've had both sides of the cases on that one, and sometimes
Well, we
I
can't
didn't.
go in the apartment. You need the police.
What's that?
You can't go in the apartment. You need the police.
Yes,
Enter,
you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm the only representative from the office, which fuck me.
And
Yeah.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Holding your gonads.
I mean, because it's just like what's behind. Well, it's like hide behind curtain number 1. It's like what the fuck's gonna be back there? You don't know.
Probably some dead person.
I mean, you can sometimes guess from the smell sometimes, but
Or the screams, help me.
I won't.
I mean,
I think she's dead.
that sounds super creepy. Or the screams.
or she's like fucking Pennywise or something.
Oh, God. So.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
One question, Connor. I'm so sorry. One question. Being a landlord, have you ever had it where you had like a super horny woman or man for that matter, and they like call you to their apartment, but you walk in and they're like half dressed sitting there? It's a question.
Yep.
Did you guys talk about the Amber Heard stuff?
Like, we only just got started.
Not yet.
We haven't gotten there yet. You got just in the nick of time, JP. But yes, Gina, I've experienced that, and it's fun. I'm trying not to be too mean, but there have been situations where like residents have made advances on either leasing staff or office staff or maintenance. It's more so maintenance. It's the whole
Oh my god.
can you fix my plumbing situation?
I used to fucking hit
No
on my
joke. Like
maintenance
I'm dead
guy all the
serious.
fucking time. But
Yes.
our maintenance guy was a giant horse, so like he hit on them back.
Oh, there was a maintenance guy I used to work with where it's just like it was kind of one of those things where it's like you kind of suspected something was up, and then it's just like
170.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every nail needs a hammer.
This is way-
Can you hammer me? Like,
Yeah, except-
I heard one of my fucking neighbors say that one time, and I wanted to puke. It was during remodel, and yes, there were a lot of really good-looking construction guys around, but I wanted to puke.
except when that hammer, has syphilis. And that's the
They
only...
build me from the ground up and then sell me for a higher price.
You fucking
Just like
auctioning
your
it?
ass.
That's just my kind of pickup line.
Where's everybody going?
What the fuck?
How's it done?
Jurgen says that happened to him when he worked at the hospital.
I mean, I like I said,
I
I
got
can
2 days left,
fact.
Jurgen. I got 2 days left, Jurgen.
I can tell tons of stories. I don't want to take up too much time, but I could literally, if people ever want to hear them, I could definitely tell stories about all sorts of craziness that I've seen / heard / experienced at fucking in different, because I've worked at like 6 different places, 6 different apartment complexes, and trust me, they're quite interesting.
Oh god, I've lived here for so long, that I have seen so many people fucking come and go. I could tell you some fucking horror stories too. I might as well be the fucking landlord here. What the fuck?
Yeah, write them down. But
Hey, so story time with JP. Today,
all right.
we went down and finished cleaning the apartment out, which we cleared it out. We're done. Lottie dottie, they can suck on my hot toddy.
Please tell me you told him that.
My mom came with us, and I just, she's like, well, I wish I could always, she always says, I wish I could do more. I'm like, no, you're doing enough.
Yeah.
So there's a spot in the bedroom where, I would spill drink and just not clean it the fuck up. So we had a fucking spot on the fucking carpet.
Yeah,
that,
like a garbage spot.
Kind of, but either way. So mom took the shampooer and started shampooing, and it immediately started smelling like rotten fucking eggs.
Yeah. Heather was telling this to me and Jaina right before we got on here, and I'm like, that could be a plethora of combination of things. It could be something underneath the carpet. It could be.
It was.
Yeah.
I can tell you what it was. Remember what I said? The place just like they didn't insulate it properly, so the mold just grows.
Yeah. Get the gut.
That's exactly what it was, because it was pure black.
Oh,
Well, and especially up north here where we get a lot of snow, decent amount of rain and things like that. If your place isn't insulated, you're begging for mold. I mean, it's just as bad down south, because they get a lot of rain and stuff down there, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, damn
why would you
climate
not-
is worse for mold.
Why would you not insulate your shit?
One of the.
Yeah, but there was a spot
No,
where.
not you. I'm talking about the landlord because you said it wasn't properly insulated.
That's what I'm saying. There was a spot where it was so shallow or whatever that they couldn't get the insulation in there. And I'm like, well, don't have to. Why don't you just have somebody come in and spray insulation down?
I was just gonna say, can't you get that spray insulation?
Like, they're just fucking yeah.
That's the bottom line.
These people, I'm gonna tell you right now, they're good people. They really are.
Yep.
They're nice people. They never had. I mean, they could have come knocked on my door and said, "Dude, can you shut the fuck up? Keep it down just a little bit."
Why?
So I told them about the issue, and they said, well, you just got to turn the fan on upstairs. Well, I think the fan blew a fuse or whatever. The fan blew up or whatever. I don't fucking know.
It blew up.
No, but those bathroom fans, they go out all the time.
You're talking like a ceiling fan.
A ceiling spinning fan, because they're garbage.
It was basically an exhaust fan for the attic to help dry it out.
So it's
Yeah.
similar to like a
Okay, I got
bathroom
you,
fan, that,
Yeah.
Kind of.
and they always fall
So,
apart.
yeah, so they the outside of the apartment building is immaculate. But the
No,
inside,
well, just like me.
if you don't live there and you come to visit, you would never know. If that makes sense, unless I pointed it out to you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, my apartment's kind of very similar, where on the surface it looks really, really decent, but then when you live here for a while, you start noticing things.
Mm-hmm. The only quick story I was gonna say was at one of the older places I worked at that was extremely old. There was a massive rainstorm, and it leaked so much from the rain outside that it looked like something out of a fucking horror movie, because you'd walk down the hall and all you would see, and this is in the winter, you'd see the walls of the hallway just like a waterfall, almost like something out of like a water park. Not like it's spewing out of the wall, but it's running
The walls
against
are
the
crying?
side. Yeah, and then so we're like, oh shit, well that's gonna freeze and fuck up the pipe. So great. Everyone get a shovel.
The first
color.
apartment I moved into,
interesting.
and I know that we have to move on, but the first apartment that I moved into when I was pregnant with Austin, right out of high school, it would snow, and it would snow under the door into my living room. And then it would
Well,
also
that's like
snow,
an easy fix, though.
but it would also snow through the window.
Yeah,
and
move.
while it was not
Easy
like, and I
fix.
didn't Mind you, I didn't have the window open for all you smartasses out there. But
You have it closed though.
Just call me in basement my name at
Yes.
this point.
fucking asshole. But
I'm not judging you.
while it was an easy fix,
Concept.
the landlord was an older woman, and we did not have a maintenance person at the time, so they had to come all the way down from the cities.
I should
So
have made her do it.
the entire time that we lived there, I lived there probably about 6-7 months, and the entire time that we lived there, nobody would come and fix the shit. And mind you, the front yard would flood, so like when it would rain a lot, the rain would start coming into the living room, and I'm like, okay, this is getting under the carpet. Like, I'm not paying for this.
Yeah, no
Like
kidding.
Ben Stiller and Happy Gilmore, I think it was.
Yes.
You just pulled yard duty. My hands.
Hey,
God.
you said my hands, and the first thing that I thought of was fucking Scary Movie.
Oh, I
God.
think of
I let me use my strong hand.
I think of Talladega Nights. It was like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. That was good too.
Just holding them up.
Good hand.
God.
Anyway,
Couple good hand motions.
let's talk about some. Well, I kind of don't want to, but at the same time,
Right?
yeah. So obviously, one of the biggest stories still coming off of last week, and I know you guys kind of talked about it on last week's episode, which I wasn't unfortunately present for because I was dying. But
Having shit in your bed.
the Johnny Depp Amber Heard. What's that?
Nothing.
The Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. So there's a couple of follow-ups just kind of stemming off of these, or at least some pieces of news coming off of these. Not necessarily about the case themselves, but the first one is about this online petition to remove Amber Heard from the Aquaman 2 movie, which apparently has passed over 2 million signatures. Now, granted, I love how the article says that this actual petition started back in 2020, but the creative campaign hopes that after reaching 1 million more signatures than it has now, it will stop those behind the movie from casting Heard. So the only thing is, obviously, I'm not sure where the production stands as far as Aquaman. I think it's almost done. But I did hear something along the lines, and this is a rumor, mind you, of that I believe they've heavily cut her role in the film. Or cut her scenes in the film to like extremely minimal.
Here's the
Deep
thing.
fake her into Johnny Depp.
Here's the thing. Jason Momoa has actually spoken out publicly in support of Johnny Depp. Jason Momoa does not like her.
The way I feel, before you go, JP, the way I feel about it, and it's gonna be really quick. I don't think anybody should lose their job unless they're proven guilty in a court of law. While there's something happening, I don't think it should happen. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. So many people have already lost their jobs before anything happens, and it's more often one sex than the other. So if we're gonna look at an equal playing field, then yes, she should be tried in the people's court the same way everybody else has, I guess. But I still don't feel it's good for anybody to have their livelihood.
We live in
because of something that hasn't been proven.
I agree with basement. I agree. I look, don't she shit in the bed.
Who hasn't shit the bed every now and then?
I don't care. I mean, the only thing I want from these people is entertain me. If you can entertain me, I don't give a shit what you do in your fucking free time. If you want to walk around beating the shit out of Johnny Depp, beat the shit out of Johnny Depp. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm just gonna be fucking straight up fucking honest with you. Johnny Depp can suck my fat cock.
If that's what you want to do, then that's
So,
fine. You're gonna go to jail.
here's why.
Running around beating
Johnny
Depp.
Depp said some horrible fucking things about our former president. Horrible.
Okay, and?
He's not the only one.
That's his point of view.
And he
So
also suck my fat giant cock too. But my point is, because look, yes, I don't agree with Joe Biden, but I'm never gonna say the man deserves to die.
Well,
That's pretty fucking
age
shitty.
is coming for him real fast.
Just look how the last 3 points.
Nobody, no matter who it is, and if this is true, which it probably is, the way it sounds is she is an abuser.
Yeah.
Nobody
and-
deserves to be abused. I do not agree with what she did, if it's true. I don't agree with anybody doing anything like that at all.
Well, I hate the idea of her actually coming out saying she is arguing the point that she was abused. Well, it seems more and more that comes out that she is the villain in the situation.
Right.
This is like the Jussie fucking Juicy Smollett shit all over again.
It is.
It's I'm gonna create something that's gonna be terrible for everybody because I'm super narcissistic. They're like this similar people in the fact that they should be burned at the stake.
I was just laughing a little bit how like every time JP was bringing up a point, Baseman's like, well, I don't know. But I mean, no, I kind of agree with you guys in the sense of like it needs to be equal footing as far as like, hey, this person's a piece of shit, quote unquote.
They're both pieces of shit.
I was gonna say the whole
Hollywood, baby.
the whole like canceling of these people, you know, because it's basically cancel culture.
Yeah.
I mean, her
like-
livelihood's gonna be affected either way, even if this movie doesn't. You know what I mean?
As it should. What's good for the goose is good for the fucking gander, as JP always says. All of these men that went through the Me Too movement and lost everything that they had lined up for their career because of these women, some of them false allegations, she needs to suffer the same. I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree.
I feel like the false allegation thing, like somebody comes out and is like blatantly false, like Jussie Smollett, and proven false. Like you need to throw the fucking biggest book in the world at them, because it has to be shown that you can't do this fucking. That's the worst abuse of law in every way.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like yeah, it's like okay. I mean, man, I'd put like what he did almost on the same stadium as fucking first-degree murder. To be honest with you, because you don't know, like if it went the way that he wanted it to go, he might have been responsible for multiple deaths because of a narrative he was weaving in his messed up mind. And like I mean, Amber Heard is a bit different. It's more personal and one-on-one between her and Johnny Depp.
Hearsay.
I think they had a really fucked up relationship, and I feel like she's a fucked up person.
Hearsay.
Yes.
I'm inclined. I'm
I'm
inclined.
clean. Mr. Clean.
I'm inclined to agree more with what both of their therapists said. She was the couples therapist,
Oh,
and
God.
basically the therapist. Well, here's the thing. I agree with it, but I don't agree with it because she called it mutual abuse. But then she went on to say how Amber Heard was mainly the main protagonist. So I don't understand how it could be mutual abuse if she's the main protagonist.
Is she a hero?
But with that being said, she also came out saying that Amber Heard was actually diagnosed with a few different personality disorders or like mental health issues. And just judging by the things that I've heard, the audio that's come out and things like that, like you can kind of hear mental health issues that she's struggling with because
I mean, there's no
can hear
doubt,
it.
but that's not an excuse either.
No,
I feel like
you
they
can
used a bunch of words to describe bitch.
Here's the thing. I don't feel like mental health should be any kind of a excuse at all because abuse is abuse, whether it's happening to a man or a woman. Abuse is abuse.
Yep.
However,
This mental health is in the same realm as like pedophilia. Mental
Here's-
health, like the bad. There's no
the
good
thing.
coming out of that.
The reason why I pointed out the therapist saying the mental health issues is because when you listen to some of the audio, you can hear it. Like she's obviously the protagonist. She will not let him get away. She chases after him. She won't let the argument end. Those are obviously mental health issues, and those are things that she needs to deal with herself going forward from here because she has a small daughter now. And if she doesn't deal with those issues, then she's going to reflect those onto her daughter.
So here's my thing. This is why I hate it. And mental health. I get mental health. I deal with it on a daily basis. I really do. But when it comes to situations like this, we cannot as a society allow people to use that and say, well, she has mental health problems. Why? Because if you think about it, when somebody kills somebody and they throw the mental health issue, whether or not they have it, 90% of the time, and I'm just throwing this out there, like a lot of the documentaries that I watch, a lot of the serial killers have split personality disorders, they have mental health issues, and they're gonna go to death row no matter.
All that mental health issues means is
I
you
agree.
are
Right.
different than the norm.
I'm just pointing out why I disagree with the whole mental health issue being thrown.
I mean,
out.
I feel like what's happening is we're gonna call it a spade a spade. Yeah, she's got mental
Here's the
issues,
thing, though, Basement.
but it's not a crutch, and
Yes.
You said that-
we won't judge it as such.
Right.
You said that mental health is like not the norm, but unfortunately mental health is the norm these days. The only reason why I brought it up is because I feel like she needs to address. Okay, hold on. But I feel like she needs to address her issues moving forward
I don't
because
think she will.
for the sake of her fucking daughter, I really, really hope she does.
So what I'm saying is basically like mental health and where you stand on like a spectrum is judged upon the spectrum. If mental health issues are the norm, then everybody with mental health issues are fine. Because
true.
you're
That's
adjusting
true.
where the spectrum
But
is.
when I say they're the norm, I'm just saying like
I just feel like there's no
become
actual
normalized because
there's no actual like the whole fucking thing where if I was to show you a graph that goes up and down for like emotions or whatever, that's bullshit. Everybody suffers from something in some way somehow. Some
That's
people
what I
suffer
mean.
from the extremes,
That's what
and
I
the
mean.
extremes are like dangerous and need to that's where you have to hopefully get some help. With her extremes seem to be violent and hateful, and
That's
those are
right.
things that nobody on this planet is gonna be like, oh, she's got mental health issues. She's dealing with it. No, she's a terrible piece of shit, and she should understand that she's a terrible piece of shit, or she needs to go away and be locked up forever.
And you guys are reading what I was saying like completely wrong. Maybe it's because of how I said it. I am in no way, shape, or form trying to.
You did call her a
come up with-
protagonist multiple times.
Shut up. I meant an antagonist, you fucking asshole. Shut up. I swear to God, if you were sitting next to me, I'd fucking smack the shit out of you. Anyways,
Enjoy it though. Problem.
in no way, shape, or form am I saying that as an excuse for her behavior. It is not an excuse. Basically, all I was saying was she definitely has some fucking mental issues going on. And I really, really hope that she addresses those because she does have a little girl. And moving forward, if she has violent tendencies and she does not address those issues, then they're going to reflect on her daughter. Whether her daughter picks up those issues and starts behaving the same way, or whether her daughter is the recipient of the violence. I mean,
Well,
I
with
don't want to
somebody-
say that, but you never know.
Yeah.
With somebody that's like a class A narcissist, she's not going to change for her daughter. Like, there's no chance in hell. I mean, she'll do the things on paper that she should do as a mother and check them off so she
Right.
feels okay.
Yeah.
But she's gonna be a terrible person regardless. Like, unless she can somehow like ground herself in reality and not be that type of person. I don't know. Like, it just seems like it's a recipe for disaster. You have somebody, and usually narcissistic people are very controlling people, and then you have that person mixed in with Johnny Depp, who is just a drug addict, and
He was.
Well,
the personality traits are there regardless if you have overcome the addiction or not.
Right,
You have an addictive personality, no matter what it is. There's like a certain thing, and he's also like kind of a la-di-da type motherfucker. So
That's also the reason why, because Johnny was clean for 2 years, and then all the shit started with those guys, and because he has an addictive personality.
I wouldn't blame her for him going back to his addiction.
But
You
no,
you can't do
but
that.
can blame his addictive personality. And ever since he was a little kid dealing with his mother and all that other shit, he said flat out himself, drugs were always an escape for him, and that's
everybody,
what
though.
he went right back to.
But that's everybody. Like, you can get a serial killer off. You said like this is the way I was raised made me this way. So like, I mean, everybody's got their own like problem.
Yeah.
Or multiple.
Heather, sorry, were you looking to chime in earlier?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
I feel like y'all make great points. It's not like I'm like disagreeing with any specifics, but like I do fear that like the blanket statement of mental health is never an excuse for behavior. I think that if you boil down the specifics to it, just on this point alone, yeah, you can explain the behavior, you can have a reasoning behind the behavior or lack thereof, but it still doesn't take away from what the fuck happened. You know, it doesn't take away from the actions. It doesn't like you know, obviously that it's an extreme. Go ahead.
I feel like to an extreme, right? Like an extreme version of mental health problems can, like, you can't. Somebody like that is like in the very extreme of like.
You're talking about a serial killer.
Version of, you know, the worst version of like depressiveness and things like that. It's hard to blame the person.
Right,
at that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a spectrum. It's not necessarily like but when you get to like the end posts or the goal posts, no, you can't blame the person at that point. But everything in between,
well, I feel
you can tweak.
like, here's the thing. I feel that ultimately
I'm gonna kill you.
everyone needs to take responsibility for their actions, whether you have a mental health disorder or not. So like, I agree with the court system these days where not very many people get to plead mental insanity because ultimately, whether you are dealing with something or not, you are responsible for your actions.
Well, that when you're talking mental insanity, please, that's a whole different realm.
What I'm basically saying, there's people that I've met that like can't form. They're not coherent.
Yeah,
really.
I was about
They're
to say
not
to the
there.
point
They're
where
like vacant-minded husks of humanity.
Because what is it? It's supposed to be like they aren't able to disassociate themselves as far as what is right and wrong.
What is real and what is
Or
and
yeah,
what is
I
real
think-
and fake.
yeah.
And, yeah.
So those are
really-
extreme cases, obviously.
Which is really where that part of the justice system needs to be focused. Not this, I felt this way or I felt that way, because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
still in control of who you are to an
Here's the
extent.
thing. The Amber Heard thing, I refer to mental health. I'm talking about aggressive behaviors, narcissism, things like that. Those are-
Behaviors.
Yeah.
You need to
those-
control that shit.
Yes, and I agree. But those are things that fall under mental health, which is why I labeled them mental health. However, she's batshit fucking crazy. Okay, this woman is insane. You can tell just by looking at her in the courtroom. Every single day, she's like mimicking whatever Johnny wore to court the day before. It's fucking weird. She's petty.
And you could like before this whole thing started, like when Trek started talking about it years ago, and he's like, "I hate that bitch," and I was like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into this.
You're
And,
crazy.
in the first couple of like interactions with her, and like I think she was talking to like a psychologist, or like they recorded it, so it's probably like a detective or something. I was like, man, she is fucking psycho.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get that real fast.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell just by looking at her reactions in the courtroom, the things that you hear that she said on audio, her mimicking fucking Johnny's outfits out of being just pure pettiness.
I mean, look at them
she's just
physically.
1000% crazy.
Johnny Depp looks like a beat dog half the time.
I mean,
Like,
to be
just
fair, he looks like
physically.
it with before. But anyway, I mean, kind of talking a little bit too. Oh, sorry, gotcha.
Sorry, I was just gonna say he may look like a beat dog, but if I didn't have a boyfriend, I would jump on that in a fucking heartbeat. And I'm sorry. Sorry.
Apparently,
He's
beat dogs
still
are a
hot.
type for
He is
Gina.
still
Who
fucking
knew?
hot.
The other one of the other articles in the list of stuff we were going to talk about is that a psychologist did have a couple of other things, like a clinical psychologist who evaluated her, so that she had a couple of personality disorders linked to violence and making up stories. A forensic clinical psychologist who evaluated Amber Heard testified in court this past Tuesday that she diagnosed the actor with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. The scores heard received on professional psychological tests were associated with people who were, quote, full of rage and socially sophisticated. These people might have that anger that kind of explodes out at times. They tend to be very passive aggressive. They may be self-indulgent, very self-centered. They could use manipulation tactics to try and get their needs met. They're very needy of attention, acceptance, and approval.
Familiar.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's literally what we were just talking about. So,
No.
it's interesting because the therapist said Heard did not have PTSD and appeared to be grossly exaggerating symptoms. She initially said, yes, I have 19 of the 20 symptoms. That's not typical, even of somebody with the most disabling form. Disabling form. God, I can't read tonight. Of PTSD.
You got this. You're the predator.
God damn. When we eventually sort of dialed it down, there were 3 remaining symptoms. So there were other. So yeah, borderline personality and histrionic personality disorder. So those are the 2 that she was. At least, and like we just said, this pretty much checked all the boxes of the stuff we were just talking about. So not really much of a shocker.
Do you ever feel like they're so quick to label?
Yeah.
Like I feel like, I mean, from this thing, she dealt with her for 12 hours. Those probably 12 sessions. But I feel like just in general, they're really quick to like label somebody something. The medical system in general.
They did with me.
Like, well, I feel like they need to do it because they need to put like an answer to the question that's in front of them.
Okay.
It's just like the scientific mind is usually gone that way, and they're all born from it.
Yeah.
Here's an example. Okay, here's an example. I'll use myself as an example. When I was in my 20s, I lost a friend to suicide, right? And I was having a hard time getting like accepting what happened, I guess you would say. So I was like, okay, I need to talk to somebody. I'm going to make a therapy appointment. I made a therapist appointment. Mind you, I saw the therapist the day after we buried my friend, right? The day after his funeral. It had only been 1 day since his funeral. And the therapist immediately diagnosed me with attachment disorder because he said that I was having a hard time letting him go. It had only been 1 day since his funeral.
I mean, that's where you yourself have to just be like, this is obviously fucking bullshit.
But,
Like, I mean, you're in all honesty, you are your best doctor in almost everything, unless you're completely like fucked.
Well,
Like, mentally, if you're completely fucked and you can't think for yourself, that's different. But like, for the most part, I question every fucking thing these people say because a lot of the times it's like, you're gonna catch me in the worst scenario, and then you're gonna label me something, and now I'm gonna have to deal with that something for forever, probably as a misdiagnosis because you were so rushed into giving me a label because that's your job.
When you have something wrong, a lot of times, I don't want to say that you can self-diagnose yourself because obviously you can't. You know that something's wrong, but you don't know exactly what's wrong. But when you know that something's wrong and you go in and you're diagnosed, it's a lot more easy to believe the symptoms of whatever it is that you're diagnosed with, because you've been suffering with those symptoms. Now, that being said, I've been misdiagnosed. I know Connor has been misdiagnosed. A lot of people get fucking misdiagnosed, and I fucking hate the fact. I hate the fact that they're so quick to label children.
Well, how many times do you go to the doctor and not get diagnosed? It's like you always have to leave with an answer to something. JP?
No, Heather asked me if I was okay. I'm moving around a lot just because I can't get comfortable.
Well, actually, it was more the way you were just moving, because it looks like you had a hemorrhoid pop out.
God.
Shoulders are fucked up. My shoulders are fucked up, and I don't know
Like
why.
your whole body is
Take a sweet tart.
The rest of my body feels fine. It's just my shoulders.
Take a sweet tart.
Take a sweet tart. Yeah, that's a solution to everything.
I'm gonna say it's moving and repetitive motion.
He'll take a sweet tart, start moving like Eddie Guerrero.
And then
La Riva La Raza.
the next day.
Next morning.
Fly out of a windshield. He's gonna fly out of a windshield.
I agree with you, Basement, in terms of the labeling. I went to go get evaluated and checked out after some incidences, and literally they diagnosed me with one thing, and then I went to go see like someone a little bit more recurring as far as like therapy and a psychologist, and they're like, no, you actually have this. And granted, to be fair, both of those were in one session, but the other one at least took more time to ask more very specific questions, understand me a little bit better, look at my medical history, as opposed to the other one, which it's not that I think that they're like totally wrong. They were still in the ballpark of the two diagnoses, but yeah, I get where you're coming from as far as like, well, let's just put a stamp on your forehead and label you
Here's the
this.
thing.
You can also tell the like quality of a physician pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The last therapist that I went to go see, he was like, it was at the end of our session, you know, and I as Bateman said, I need answers, right? I need answers. So I'm like, what's going on? You know, like what is going on? I know it's just been one session, but like as of right now, don't label me, but just can you tell me what you're leaning towards? And immediately they were like, well, with your bipolarness, and I'm like, wait a minute, because I had never been labeled bipolar before that. I was labeled manic depressive, and I'm like, wait, whoa, back to Soul Train up a second, bipolar, and they're like, okay, first of all, don't freak out, but you've been manic depressive for years. I had gotten diagnosed in my early 20s with that, and they're like, bipolar 2 is just manic depression has been renamed bipolar 2,
The sequel.
that's all it is. And I was like,
Right.
Okay. Like that makes much more sense, because I was like, how the fuck did you get that I was bipolar off of one visit?
That's what they diagnosed me with first, was bipolar 2. And then when I actually spoke to somebody else, they diagnosed me with the borderline personality disorder. And it's all in the same realm mostly.
Right.
But essentially, these ones are different than standard bipolar in the sense of your manic episodes are not as high. So, you know, with manic, if you've seen like the Mauro Ranallo special or know how, like, you know, when you're talking like high in terms of like you're spending crazy amounts of money, you're fucking anything that moves, you're not sleeping for days, you're like just going.
I do one of those things.
Oh, one out of three. And then the depressive's obviously the extreme opposite of that.
See, and that's where I kind of I questioned my diagnosis, because don't have the highs, the extreme highs. I might get a little hyper like I was last night, but it only lasts for like an hour or two. Otherwise, like for me anyway, the manic depression is what kills me, and I get low. And when I say low, I mean like we're talking the pits of fucking hell low. But I don't have the highs that are often associated with bipolar 2. I have, it's a lot more of the low.
But,
it's like a 1-to-6 ratio.
Amber Heard.
Fuck that bitch.
Well, I mean, we're talking about her. I mean, just if she has these fucking issues, she's a narcissist.
For sure.
She's all about herself. She does not care what other people think.
I mean,
she doesn't think she's doing anything wrong.
You can tell it with the way she acts during the whole fucking debacle. Like she's there checking her nails. It's like fucking another Tuesday at the salon and shit.
Well, it's like none of it is.
She's above all of it. Is the way that she acts.
So that's the histrionic.
Shown though, especially when it came to the point where Johnny was talking about where she threw the freaking drug-sized bottle of tequila at him, or vodka, whatever it was, and severed his finger off. As he was telling that story, she was sitting there all smug, and then she was close to fucking tears at the end of that. So it's just like, oh shit.
So
hold on.
Oh shit, you're finding out exactly who the fuck I am.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. She wasn't close to all tears until she realized that the camera was on her.
Well, I'm good. I'm happy that she's not a great actress, because if she was, holy fucking Christ, man, that level of like narcissism combined with like great acting would make her a force to be reckoned with.
Make your mouth straight. Oh, did I say that out loud?
So that's the history. So I was actually curious myself.
I feel like
that's the history.
have ego issues.
So the narcissism kind of falls with the histrionic personality disorder, because it's described as marked by unstable emotions, a distorted self-image, and an overwhelming desire to be noticed.
Right?
How many scars does Johnny Depp own?
Oh, there's plenty.
Yeah, there's a few people.
And here's the thing, like, Are both of them guilty of certain things? Yes. But ultimately, I think that it has been proven that she is primary aggressor.
Yeah.
One
And
is
because
actually
they-
like.
This is not even about who abused who. It's about a defamation of character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at.
He
but
his character by claiming he was the one abusing her to the point of.
In my eyes, he kind of did that himself.
here's the thing. I am so glad that he threw this lawsuit, because even if all of this shit is just a media frenzy bullshit, okay, let's just say all of this is just whatever. It has, I don't think it is either. I think that he legitimately was abused, but has shed such a light on male domestic violence. And people are finally starting to speak out, and it's not just men, it's a lot of fucking women that are saying this can happen to anyone. Like, and that is exactly what needs to be brought forth, is the fact that domestic violence does not just happen to women. There are a lot of men that suffer from domestic violence, but it is not okay, and it is not normal, quote unquote, for men to speak out about it. So that's why I am grateful for that this case is happening right now.
I also feel like when most people think of like male, like domestic violence against men, it's like, oh, I'm attacking you, I'm punching you, I'm throwing shit at you. But like verbal abuse is like rampant.
The rest of anything else that's labeled as abuse is always forgotten about. They always
but verbal abuse is what kills you on the inside.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, I know so many women that.
Well, I mean, women will go
that
more
just think,
towards verbal abuse. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen it a million times.
I agree. I know so many women that are just, they think it's perfectly fine to talk to their husband or their boyfriend and just like sit there and degrade him in front of other people or anything, and that's not okay. It's not okay.
Verbal abuse in relationships between, like, if I had to pinpoint a number, I'd say 80% women are verbally abusive versus 20% men. Physically abusive, it's probably the opposite way. But like,
you'd be surprised. I know a lot of women that are fucking ready to throw hands too. But I mean, this whole Me Too movement and this whole like, I'm a woman, so I can talk to you however I want to, but you can't fucking talk to me like that.
I mean, that's not how it works. The old adage is like, I mean, Mike Tyson said it, man. Say what you want until you fucking get a fist in your face. Like, I mean,
exactly.
most. It's gonna sound fucking bad, but most women haven't had to deal with the conclusion of speaking shit. Some women have, which is terrible.
JP, blink or breathe if you're in trouble.
But all men have had to deal with speaking shit, which is why we learn not to do it.
And you know, the thing is that there's some women, I'm not gonna lie, like when I had a fucking hell of an anger problem when I was younger, so can I see my old self a lot in Amber Heard, the way she acts right? Yeah, unfortunately I can. However, I never went to that extreme. And I also learned from my behavior and I learned from my actions, and I am the complete fucking opposite person now. Like I avoid confrontation if possible in every circumstance. So if you gotta learn from your fucking mistakes, man. You gotta realize that there's something wrong within yourself. And unfortunately, I just don't think that she's gonna do that.
A lot of people make other people suffer for their own insecurities that they have about themselves, or
Well, I
they
mean,
think they
anytime
don't
that-
like in themselves.
We're still talking about Amber Heard, right?
I mean, anytime that like I got like angry or I would yell or anything, there was always a reason for it. But looking back now, there was always a reason for it. 9 times out of 10, I was the one that was provoked first. So it was like instant reaction to stand up for myself. But still can't deny the fact that like my anger, when I hear those audio tapes of Amber Heard, reminds me a lot of me when I was younger. But like I said, if a person is like that and they can understand that they're like that and make the move to change that person because they don't want to be that person
that's
anymore.
What it boils down to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No anger.
On a lighter note from this, since we already talked pretty heavily about that first part, and there's other things we got to talk about. There was also the reveal from Johnny Depp during the whole thing about supposed plans for his most popular character. Well, I don't know if it is his most popular, but one of what I was gonna say, one of it, which is of course the Captain Jack Sparrow. So again, to try to end things on a somewhat lighter note in this heavy conversation that we can go on forever about, Depp discussed his original plans to help write Pirates of the Caribbean 6 before Disney fired the actor in response to the domestic violence allegations. The actor revealed details about his termination in his testimony on Monday morning, and after the article post by Amber Heard, Disney released Depp from his contract, ending their relationship with Captain Jack Sparrow.
Double standard.
What's that?
Double standard. That's the bottom line.
Being removed from the movie is not the only loss Depp faced. Warner Brothers also asked Depp to remove himself from the Fantastic Beasts franchise. Now Depp and his legal teams are fighting for victory in the defamation suit against Heard. Blah 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 blah. So his quote,
no matter what. But whatever.
His quote was, I didn't quite understand how after that long relationship and quite a successful relationship, certainly for Disney, that suddenly I was guilty until proven innocent. I, in fact, had been approached to take part in writing Pirates 6. My feeling was that these characters should be able to have their proper goodbye, as it were. A franchise can only last for so long, and there's a way to end a franchise like that. And I thought that the characters deserved to end their franchise on a very good note. I planned on continuing until it was time to stop. But sorry, Basement, you were saying? I didn't want to like gloss over anything.
I mean, he's part of a group of people that are intent on eating themselves alive. Because they do the worst shit ever, yet they think of themselves as saints.
But no, here's the thing. I agree with him to a certain extent because he was guilty until proven innocent. He lost his chance. And Jack Sparrow is a very well-known and renowned character. And all he wanted was to give him his goodbye, like the proper send-off, and he didn't get that opportunity. Which is really shitty because not that he deserved that opportunity, but he deserved to at least have that opportunity put on hold until after everything came to light.
I mean, he's right about the guilty until proven innocent shit. I'm not gonna lie on that.
Exactly, and unfortunately, that's the age that we live in. That's social media. You see it all the time. Whether it's somebody that's a killer.
People.
I mean, you see it all the time. Whether it's somebody that supposedly killed somebody, or look at what was his name in Wisconsin? Kyle.
Rittenhouse.
Look at him.
Well, he did kill somebody.
Yes, but he did so in self-defense, and he was guilty.
Guilty as fuck, even though he was proven innocent twice.
Yeah.
By social media standards, he would have been in fucking prison for the rest of his life.
Well, I mean, by social media standards, he's still guilty. Like the bottom line is like, as soon as you're accused, if you're on the wrong side of the fence, whatever that fence is, and there's a fence for gender and there's a fence for political beliefs, you're guilty forever. You've already been tried and prosecuted.
Well, and that's a major flaw in the justice system right now, because in the United States, you're supposed to be guilty or innocent until proven guilty. Guilty until proven innocent. You're supposed to be innocent or until proven guilty. But with social media and everything the way it is, there is no such thing as a fair trial anymore. There's just not.
Too is a lot of like forget about Rittenhouse, but in Johnny Depp's case, you're a public figure. Who you are matters. When somebody accuses you of something, that's a hit on not just you, but the company you're working for, the projects you're doing. People are going to create their own narrative in their mind about you being a terrible person, and it's going to hurt the bottom line, which is why they're treated as such. But Hollywood is also like the most touchy bunch of fuckbags known to mankind. They're all like, oh, we're here for them. The Lord has gifted us with the talent to act. But they're all fucking kids and shit. Like, they're weird as shit.
But
half of them can't even fucking act. So
yeah, half of them can't.
That's my issue, because like they all want to act like they are not necessarily better than everybody else, because there are some actors that are pretty grounded. Keanu Reeves, for example.
I mean,
They're on this
Guarantee you.
pedestal, right? And most of them are perfectly fine with being on this pedestal until something like this happens, and then something like this happens, and then suddenly they're the same as the average person, but they're not. Like you're not. You are a fucking
You can't have
multi-millionaire.
you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Exactly. Like you can't compare yourself to an average person making $30,000 a year when you're
When you
sitting
want
in a
to.
mansion with fucking
Yeah.
millions.
And also these fucking cumbags that we're talking about, like, bring the immigrants in. You own a fucking complex. House them. No, we won't do that. And every single person, every fucking stupid cunt that was like, hey, this person got elected to president, I'm gonna move to Canada. None of them did it. Hey, this person bought Twitter, I'm gonna leave Twitter. And none of them will do it.
So-
It's a bunch of whiny bitches that
Like,
this,
Heather,
like,
It's
fucking full of
NIMBY.
shit.
They're the not in my backyard people. So
Ooh, yeah.
so these are
Yeah.
so we have the windmill. We have a windmill farm just outside of town where we live.
Oh, nice.
I mean, this guy sold his land because he wasn't making any money at farming, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, I'll sell my land, and you can pay me to fucking have these windmills and whatever." The guy's making more money now than he did farming, and everybody is mad at this guy because he's allowing them to do it. So they're like,
Yeah.
well, these are the same fucking people that
We
are
want
like,
clean energy, but not here.
We want clean energy. Oh, great. Well, you've got farmland that you're not in the backyard.
Yeah.
But what fucking good are you doing?
This
And you know, I get sorry.
I was gonna say this reminds me of a George Carlin bit where he talked about prisons. People are always mad, like build more prisons, but not here.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, it comes down to they want the clean energy, but they don't want to look at the eyesore that is the windmills. You know, and
I actually find them really cool to look at. They're not ugly at all.
They're
Me
very
too.
like tender.
well, me too. But like when I say the ugliness of the windmills, I'm saying like people don't want to look out their window and see this giant windmill. They would rather see a beautiful farm with some corn or whatever. But guess what? It doesn't work that way. Like Connor said before, you can't have your cake and eat it
If you're in the
too.
Midwest, if you're anywhere in the Midwest and you see a windmill farm, drive 2 more blocks. You just see a fucking cornfield.
First of all,
Precisely.
there's nothing wrong. Am I gonna use the land for farming? Then fucking throw all the windmills in the fucking world on it. I don't give a shit. Like people are so, especially these Hollywood elitists. They're like, so like, we're the best people ever, but they're the worst. Parading is the best. All the time. It always comes out. Eventually, it always comes out. You're all fucking kids.
Well,
for some
okay.
reason. I don't know
Okay,
why.
Like, speaking of like the clean energy and things like that, Leonardo DiCaprio did a
Oh, yeah.
documentary.
Fuck
What is
that
it called?
guy.
Hold
He
on. What
goes
is it
everywhere
called?
in a private jet.
But
fucking
it's I don't know.
dickbag.
Something, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's all about saving the planet and all these actions that we need to take to save the planet, right? It all sounds really good. Really, really good. So
If you have the fucking $40 million to spend to renovate your house to be all green.
exactly. And not only
should live in
that,
the
but like
forest in a tent.
Basement pointed out, you're talking to somebody that is flying everywhere on private jets.
Fucking supermodels left, right, and center, and just doing this shit to feel good about himself.
At no point in time in
It's
the
like
movie,
me giving $2 at any place I go to. Do you want to donate to the poverty kids fund? Here's $2. Well, I kind of feel better. I don't give a shit in the end.
no
I don't
point
feel
in
better or
time
not.
at no point in time in the movie do I see him actually physically doing these things that he's telling everybody else to do in his own household. No, he's traveling the world telling everybody else how we need to change our ways, but yet
Right. Yeah.
the fuck,
Is, he
motherfucker,
gonna,
like,
is this motherfucker gonna ride economy? No, he owns a plane that takes him wherever he wants to go, whenever he wants to go anywhere.
Yeah, you
So
gotta
he's using his platform to tell everybody what he should do.
Yes.
which yes.
okay.
That's him doing his part.
Right.
Yeah, that's just the whole thing where I don't care who you are, fight me on it. Anybody that has like a standing in the media that's a popular figurehead that wants to spout shit, they need to know what the fuck they're talking about, or don't speak
Well,
at
I will
all.
say that. I will say that he did know what the fuck he was talking about. It's something about something flood. Or the flood.
Well, no,
That's
he
what it's
knew
called.
what he was talking about, but then he took his jet and went home and fucked 18
Exactly.
supermodels.
That's my point.
LeBron James, same
He's
thing.
speaking on it, but he's not
Doing anything
investing
about it.
in it.
I can name
I mean,
two.
he probably invested in it, but then you look at the money being put into charity by very rich people, and all it does is make them money. So
Yeah.
it's not.
It's a tax write-off.
Yeah, in the end, they're all fucking shit.
And I
they're all
Yeah,
shit.
I'm not gonna say they're all shit because you look at somebody like Keanu Reeves, and he has been proven time after time after time after time that he
Like, I
is.
mean, you look at the Jesus of like fucking actors.
Right, but I mean, you know,
He's
there's
like
Jesus
literally
in the
the
actor.
only one.
Whoa.
But he's like I choose to believe that he's.
He's literally the only one.
Go ahead, Heather.
Shut up. Yeah, sorry, Heather.
Two other people that people were so gung ho for presidency that were doing the same exact shit.
Hmm.
Elizabeth Warren and Bernie motherfucking Sanders.
Bernie Sanders is a fucking socialist pig.
Agreed.
He's
Or
almost
you know,
dead.
even
like
even
Larry
Hillary
David.
Clinton, because
Hillary
like
Clinton was the Antichrist.
she would preach so much
Okay, we're
shit
gonna-
about how we had to be
No.
kind to one another, right? But who the fuck was being kind to the people? Never mind. I'm not gonna get
I was
into
saying we're
that.
getting down a rabbit hole that I'm afraid is going to start straining
Yeah, that's
friendships.
no shit down if we go that route.
He made a deal with a demon at some point.
God damn it! Yeah,
It was a crossroads demon. I'm telling you.
I'm not denying that. You know, we've been kind of, you know how normally we usually do like the deeper questions. We normally do, you know, the would you rather's. So I decided to switch it up a little bit. I did find some new questions to kind of throw out to everybody here on the show, but also everybody in the chat who wants to join us as well. And so I literally Googled like unique questions to ask at like a party or something. And I'll be honest, some of these are very interesting. So for example, I'll just throw out one of them. If you had a boat, what would you name it?
Welcome abroad.
Oh, that's fucking clever.
That is pretty good.
Oh, fuck, that's good. Shit, that's really good. Oh,
Ooh,
name the boat.
I don't think-
God, it's a hard one.
I know, right? It's like you have to really like think about it for a second, but fuck, Heather's answer was too quick and too good.
I guess I'm gonna go with Titanic 2.
No.
I would do Titanic 3.
Yes, what would you name it? That's what
I'm just gonna go with board me.
That's pretty good too.
Oh god.
What would I name it?
Yeah.
Hips and hose.
Or,
It's just one boat.
or
so
do the phrase boats and hoes, but cross the word boat out.
cross the S out.
Yes. Boat and hoe.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd have to
Wob my dick.
or like
Oh, that sounds like a...
I would probably do something like shark jumper or something like that. But yeah, damn. I think Heather's won on that one. Fuck, I can't think of it. Yeah, welcome
Heather
abroad.
definitely won.
Welcome
I was-
abroad. That's great.
I'm just gonna stick with board me.
Let's see here.
with the Titanic 2.
What we
There already was a Titanic 2, you stupid fuck.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there was.
Yes, there was.
A movie or
No, a
boat?
legit
No,
boat.
a boat.
Oh, then Titanic 3.
Yep. The Titanicing. This one
Titanking.
who is the messiest person that you know?
Daughter.
I mean, come on,
Hands
kids don't
down,
count because
my-
kids are fucking like disasters.
Yeah, kid is. Oh, that would be a kid then.
Is
Really?
the messiest person I know, man. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Who is?
The messy.
My daughter.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna say
would be-
kids.
it would
Kids,
be-
kids
it
can't
would
really
be my
count because they're
nephew.
always messy.
Not including my children.
Yeah.
Not including children.
Mhm.
It's
I
my
have a friend.
uncle. My
I have a
uncle
friend
Tommy.
that's
Like, I love him to death, but he is fucking disgusting when it comes to like eating and the shit
Yep.
that he has in his house, and it's so disgusting.
I have
The thing is, I have a friend that's house is fine, but I went on vacation with this motherfucker, and I know it's not him that's cleaning that house. Because he put Nutella on bread, ate half of it, and threw the other half on the ground, and it stayed there for the remainder of the journey.
That's hilarious. You're just like, you don't clean your house, do you? You hire somebody else to do.
There's no
Oh
way.
my god.
There's no way.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, but real quick, Alpha in the fucking chat, he said he'd name his boat the douche canoe.
That's pretty good.
That is a good one.
I said welcome abroad.
Yeah. Heather's ones with the groovy. That's the tough one to crack, but the douche canoe is a good one too. Heather also instantly pointed to JP when we asked that question when she came back. What is the most useless talent you have?
I can burp on command.
Burp. I'm kidding. Oh shit, she did.
Do I have a talent? I don't fucking know.
Everybody can burp on command, right?
No.
No?
Oh, I can burp on command too. Yeah, Heather. Tag team.
What-
Come
what-
on, PNC.
It's a question again.
What is the most useless
talent that you have?
You sound like Jar Jar Binks.
Wait, what?
I can talk like Jar Jar Binks. It's useless fucking talent.
It's disturbing, but I
The stage
I
is
can pee
yours,
in a bottle.
sir.
Missa Jar Jar Binks, Missa no liking you.
Good God.
The U was good.
Fuck sleeping tonight. I think it's the amount of just absurdly stupid, useless wrestling knowledge that I have. It is just like it's great conversation piece for.
That's not a talent. That's just knowledge.
Well, then talent wise, I'm even more fucked.
Retaining wrestling knowledge.
Yeah.
My talent is just super fucked up. I can literally pee in a bottle, like a Coke bottle.
I mean, can't we all?
You have no idea how hard that is for a woman to do.
Or a man of the cock size that I have.
Now, mind you, the
Take
last
that
time
the way you will.
the first and last time I peed in a bottle, I was also like 23 years old. So God knows if I can still do it.
Yeah. Well,
Well, now you ask the age-old
Sure.
question.
Listen, I don't even remember. I was drunk as shit, and I don't even remember why I peed in a bottle. I was out in the fucking woods. I could have just peed in the woods, but
Not a
no.
drop anywhere. Oh God. Then if I a useless talent,
I feel relatively talentless.
Me too.
I mean, I could play guitar, but only when
I
I'm
mean,
in the
I could
woods.
say something that is super inappropriate, but that's not useless, so never mind.
let's.
I'm fluent in cunnilingus.
I can speak into a certain body part of the alphabet. That's yeah. I don't know.
Sorry?
No, what you're saying, Gina?
Alpha says I can distort my voice in so many types of ways. It's flat out weird. And then Jurgen says the Razor Christ. I don't know what that means.
I think that's what he's gonna name his boat.
Oh, okay. Makes so
Oh,
much
The
that-
Razor Christ. I
It
can.
doesn't make
Alpha
any
says he
sense.
can impersonate different farts.
I don't know how you can impersonate different.
I have a
farts.
lot of questions with that one.
Can you throw your farts?
You know what I
Yeah,
realized
tell
the other
us.
day? I don't know if this is a useless talent or not, but my son looks just like Jesus.
That's what he means when he says he can impersonate different parts. He can make the sounds with his mouth.
Who can fucking do that?
Burp on command.
Come on, man. That's not useless talent.
I'd have to think about that then, because I don't. Maybe it's a lack of talent. I don't know. That's a tricky one. I'd have to think about that one for a while.
Well, Connor, you could play off of what you said. While that is knowledge, you have the talent to be able to pull at that knowledge at any given moment.
Basically, which is this. I guess I don't even know if that's sadder. But yeah.
In this group, no.
Conversation
no.
starters.
I'm
What
really
this
good
this is a
at...
what?
Never mind. Nothing.
No, what?
Nothing.
I was gonna say I could say something highly inappropriate, but that's not useless. So let's continue.
No, you said that twice now, so you have to say it now.
Let's go.
We already know.
What are you, Super Mario? Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Wahoo! What is the worst smelling place you've ever been?
My
Oh,
ass.
I think Gizmo's ass, right?
This is gonna tie in with what I said about my uncle earlier, and it's gonna be my uncle's house.
Oh,
Oh,
I think the worst place. Well, one of the worst smells is when it's a bad smell, but you have no way to identify it. At least some smells you're like, okay, I know what that is. I know what that is. I know what that smell is. And then there's those bad ones where it's like,
Is that BO or skunk?
what the fuck is that?
I actually think like I'm more inclined to accept like the smell of farts and shit than I am inclined to accept the smell of BO.
Yeah, because
I
like you
remember-
can shower. But
Playing
Sorry?
basketball against somebody, and the stench was so intense that he didn't need to play defense. Let's just say that.
here's the thing.
It
I
was-
know this
it
girl.
was ridiculous, man. The BO, and then it was like at the YMCA, so we were all like, we went back, and it's like, I don't know how you, like, he had an aura of like 3 feet around him. That was
Here's the
just
thing.
stench.
Aura. I don't think that's the word I would use.
I know
That's
this.
bad aura.
I know this girl right from my town that she loves the smell of BO. Like she loves the smell of onions. She loves the smell of BO. So she actually will not shower for weeks on end because she likes the smell of herself.
Who?
Girl in my town.
What's her name?
There's no way she's single.
What's her name?
She's not, but if it helps,
her
her boyfriend
name.
wants nothing to fucking do with her.
I wonder why.
The reason he's
So
so with her.
the question is, what is the worst?
Where is the
Where
worst
is
the smelling place you've been?
This is an actual place.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I got off the plane in Haiti, and you want a smell? You want the smell of body odor, death, and feces? That is a beautiful smell. Wake up to that fucking smell every fucking day for 4 fucking months.
I think you know
Yeah.
that word. I
Is
don't
it-
think you know what the beautiful adjective he uses in a sentence, but
Is it suffice to say you hated it?
I hate you.
I hated it so bad. It was terrible, man. I wanted to get the fuck out of there as soon as we got off the plane.
God.
Fuck Haiti. It's a shithole. I don't care if some people are poor.
I actually heard that from multiple people. That
Nasty there, man.
Oh.
They don't have. It's nasty. It's the second poorest country in the world.
I think going back to what we were talking about, like apartments and
Yeah.
property management stuff. The worst place I've ever been, like the worst smelling place was,
Haiti.
it was a resident's apartment who moved out. It wasn't shit. It wasn't BO. It was smoke. And I grew up with family members who were chain smokers, so a little bit here and there, fine. But this was like walking into an ashtray in the sense of you could not take a breath in without secondhand smoke. It just wasn't fucking possible. The walls
thing.
were yellow. There was not everything was discolored. All the cabinets had like a film on it, like an actual tangible. It's like someone like fucking took Crisco and just like went all over the cabinets. And then on top of that, there was an ashtray, a crater, excuse me, about this big, right where the guy's armchair armrest was, because he'd fall asleep with a cigarette in his hand, and the ashes would burn in the
Oh
carpet.
God.
Yeah.
He's lucky to be alive. Fuck.
Here's the thing,
He
like
probably smoked like 8 packs a day or some shit.
I don't
like,
understand.
constant.
Don't understand how people can fucking stand that. Okay, because like I'm a smoker myself, right?
How dare you?
My parents both smokers. Okay, I walk into my mom and dad's house. There's 3 of us in the fucking house smoking at any given moment. Okay, my mom and dad's house still does not smell like that. And my mom didn't smoke when I was younger, but my dad did. So that house has had people smoking in it since I was 7 years old.
You
And
know?
it still doesn't smell like that. I don't understand how people can
I
live like
I-
that.
I grew up in like a
so I
smoker's
find
house, and I can tell as soon as they enter a place if somebody smokes.
Yeah.
I'll
So,
pretty
okay,
much
so-
right away.
I used to smoke, right? I used to smoke, and once I quit, like whenever I go over to my mother's, like it
Tell it
just
right away.
I
Yeah,
cannot.
you can smell it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So Gene, I get it. You're a smoker, so you won't smell the
Right,
smoke.
but even when I quit smoking when I was like pregnant, I still I could smell it, but it wasn't like the overwhelming smell
Yeah.
that Connor is
Well,
is
that's
paid.
different.
But
like,
I have even being a smoker myself, I have experienced that smell before. And what I'm saying is I just don't understand how people can fucking tolerate that, because like my
Oh,
parents
yeah.
are both chain smokers and their house doesn't even smell that
You get
that
used to it
bad.
after a while, right? It's just like anything
I'm
else.
assuming this is like a dude that like literally sat there and smoked
And stop.
and
Right.
kept the windows closed.
At
And
least
never
it
cleaned.
smells pretty.
Well, especially considering that
Oh,
we know,
the vape stuff does smell good.
Yeah.
especially like we live in a day age where like they have sprays and candles that are smoke odor candles and sprays, and like you buy the spray and you can spray it and you can't smell shit.
And
You know what?
those
you
only
know
go
what?
so far, though.
I take back what I said, because the worst smell on the planet is someone with heavy BO and cologne at the same time.
Oh, yeah, like
It's
wrapped
a
in
smell
It's
something
always
along
Axe.
the side,
It's
covered
a
up.
smell
Yeah.
you can taste.
It's
And
the
it's
it's the
disgusting.
there is
I finally got one.
yeah.
This is back when I was hanging out with the whale.
Oh, come on.
Oh, is it fucking
No, it's not. It had nothing to do with her.
Betty,
is it Subway James?
I was
No.
gonna say, please tell me it's not fucking coochie smell.
No, it had nothing to do with her. We went to Paramount Comedy Club on Long Island. And with the way that place is set up, it's all family style tables. It's just long stretch of tables to get everybody in there and as many people as they can for the set. We had 2 people that came in late. And my god. BO, perfume,
Ugh.
and weed.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
That
that's
is a deadly
terrible combo.
combination
You know
right
what?
there.
That is a horrible combination, but I would take all of those any day over the smell of a fucking nasty cooch.
I mean, you ever been through like the
You know what I'm
fucking
fucking
big
talking
box? Oh god, I've never been around a nasty smelling cooch. I
Oh,
mean,
but
they have a
you-
scent, but it's not like going
Oh,
to
but like
kill me.
you've never been in like a Walmart or something, and like, no offense to heavier people, but like a heavier woman walks by you and you can just tell that like
I thought
she
it was
does-
just
that-
like
it happens
that,
to small women too, but like you can
I
whoever
thought
it
that
is,
was like her musk.
no, you can just like tell that like they don't wash very often because all you smell is like fucking
I
rotten.
mean, the
tuna.
thing is, I don't go
disgusting.
very often into Walmarts at all.
Well, it's not just Walmart. It happens fucking anywhere.
Yeah, it seems to be the mecca.
does. But I mean,
Walmart
the
is
thing is,
like
I find like there's a lot of people that don't wash often that overuse perfumes and shit.
It's always
and
Axe. It's
cologne,
always the
and-
blue
And it
Axe, whatever I smell.
and it never works. It's like you can't hide your stink, man. All it does is mix with it. It's
Relax.
disgusting.
And you know the
creates a
thing is,
layer.
like, thing is, okay. I used to have a friend that she smelled. Of
and that's why she's not your friend anymore.
one of the reasons.
Did
But
she
she
smell like a
smelled-
friend?
Did she dealt
No,
it?
listen. Listen, she smelled really bad of both yo and nasty cooch, right? And one of my other friends called her out on the fucking nasty cooch thing. They're like, "Man, do you fucking wash?" And she's like, "Well, you're not supposed to wash that area because you can get infection." And my friend and I just looked at each other and we're like, "Bitch, you're not supposed to wash that area with like fucking soap, but you still touch it with water." Like,
Yeah, didn't you know water's the #1 cause of infection?
hey, here's the thing: when you have a smell like that, 9 times out of 10, it's actually not coming from the cooch itself. It's coming from the crevices around the cooch. Okay, so like those crevices need to be cleaned. I'm gonna say.
Your crevices.
Cooch
This is a
crevices.
message from Gina to everybody. The more you know. Do, 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 do.
Clean your crevices. Like,
All right, last one of these like bizarro questions. For now, until we get to the end of the show, what is the dumbest way you've been injured?
I fell up the stairs in my high school and almost broke my elbow.
Did you say? I'm sorry. Did you say up the stairs?
oh, I've done that. 9 times out of
Oh,
10, it
I've
was
done
drunk,
that.
but
I've been injured stupidly.
My foot missed the next step. I went down, elbow first.
I've got like
So-
15 times that this has happened.
So we were moving my grandmother when I was about 15 years old, right?
Oh, shit.
And she was moving into an apartment, and we were moving through her sliding glass window, or her sliding glass door of her patio. That's where we were like moving the stuff in because it was the closest to the parking lot. My father did not see that I was behind him, and he closed the door.
Ruh-roh.
I went fucking nose first up against the fucking glass door. My whole family on the inside of the living room dying laughing, but I almost broke my nose.
Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I was late for formation one time and came running around. I got whiplashed. Well, I caught they had ropes around some of the things, the walkways, and I was trying to take a shortcut, and I've got an indentation on my quad from doing that. That's the dumbest injury I've ever had. I mean, I did a fucking I did like a 450 frog splash on the
I
concrete.
wish I could have seen that just for.
It's
Yeah.
like, I was running and I was pretty fast back in the day. I mean, I could scoot. I was like 21 at the time, so I could scoot. Right? I come whipping around that fucking corner, and it was like
Spider-Man.
on my face, but I have an indentation on one. I can't remember. I'd have to look, but I think it's my right one. I have an indentation on my from that rope collision.
I think I've got you guys all beat.
I've
Oh,
got so many.
So when I was in third or fourth grade, I cut my eyelid with safety scissors.
What? You
Why?
cut your eyelid with safety scissors.
So he
They're
could
literally
see more.
safety scissors.
So literally, I was like, do, and literally the top of my eyelid was cut.
Oh my.
No reason I needed to do any of that shit, but that is probably the dumbest way I've been injured.
Alpha says that he was running a football field.
Talking shit about Mike Tyson. That's probably the dumbest.
Oh Lord. Alpha
I
said
went-
he was running a football field wearing flip-flops like an idiot, and one folded, so he fell and fractured his right wrist.
Oh God, I hate when that shit happens when you're like running and then like the flip flop just fucking like flops. Yeah.
Running flip flops.
Oh God.
Like when my best friend's son was little, he used to take off running all the time, and we lived in the same apartment building. Well, he was so fast that she couldn't catch him, and I was the only one that could catch him. So I'd have to fucking get up, flip off my flip flops in order to run after this little fucking shit before he got in the parking lot. Even I knew to fucking take off my flip flops
the
before I
worst.
started
Those
running.
are the worst. Well, we'll do a couple bit more of those later on at the end of the show or towards the end of the show. 'cause-
I gotta go, man. I got several.
What?
Mason hasn't gone yet.
I've got multiple. So
Oh, okay. Fire away.
I'm gonna go through 'em pretty quick. I was young and we were playing tag in the night at a barbecue,
This is last night. yeah.
and I tripped up on the hot grill and landed on the hot grill with my leg
Ooh.
Oh.
and got 3rd degrees all through my leg.
Yikes.
That's number 1. Number 2, I was young and we were playing tag, and I was like, nobody. It just rained, right? So there's like, we're in the park and there's a huge amount of like a big puddle next to a big tree. I'm like, if I stand in the puddle, nobody's gonna want to get me because they can't reach me without getting wet. So I jumped on the puddle, and there was a piece of wood with a nail right through it that completely went through my foot.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was smart. And then we were doing backyard wrestling, and I got a DVD pallet
That always
drive.
ends well.
Not DVD. Yeah, I got what's the fucking DVD
DDT.
off of like no DVD. You
Oh.
know, like yeah. So I got that
WD?
off of. No, I hate you. DVD. Death Valley Driver. Off of the
Oh.
electrical box
Yep.
onto like we had these like we had like the aluminum shit onto that, and it like sliced my arm
Ooh,
for like 3 inches.
good
Right.
lord.
Yeah, and that.
How are you still alive? Like that's
I've fallen upstairs, fallen downstairs. Teachers laughed at me falling downstairs. I stepped in the cement pile.
Thing. I don't know why she's hating on her.
And teachers laughed at me. I got hit in the head with a backboard.
I fell through the monkey bars.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Through the monkey bars. See, we're on top.
Not
of it.
through. I like went to grasp them and I missed them.
I was at the top of the monkey bars and I slipped and I fell down. There was like thank God that, it wasn't, there's a little, what do you call that? A little space in between the monkey bars where it's straight down, where there's just like,
Yeah, there's just air.
yeah. And then there's concrete.
Here it is.
friend that- I have a friend that literally lost her virginity to a bike.
What the fuck?
She's not the only one.
She was riding her bike, right? She was probably, I think she was like 7, 8, at the time. And she hit a bump and she lost control of her bike. Well, somehow the fucking bar, like, okay,
The bar? How did that happen?
bar. So like she was going towards the bar, but somehow her fucking seat fell off of the bike seat, right? I don't know how the fuck this happened, but the seat fell off of her bike seat, and needless to say, she ended up falling straight on the part where the seat used to be.
Ugh.
hmm
Welcome to being a woman.
Yeah, good lord.
At 7, 8 years old, like she was 9 at most.
God damn.
That's real bad.
I'm not sure how the fuck I'm gonna segue from that, but I will.
Alrighty.
We'll do some more of these, like I said, at the end of the episode. But we got a couple more things we'll try to barrel through these a little bit faster because we spent a little more time on other things than I thought. But I mean, it's all good. We had some great conversations. So next one, I mean, we this one's just, as a nerd and a geek, just sounds really fucking cool. Apparently a Japanese rail company rolls out a VR piloted Gundam robot worker. Fuck yeah, I'm all for this. This sounds fucking amazing. So, the West Japan Rail Company has released video of its new humanoid heavy equipment robot mounted on the end of a crane. This Gundam-style robot torso mimics the arm and head motions of a human pilot who sees through the robot's eyes via VR goggles. The key objectives here, according to the company, are to, quote, improve the productivity and safety, enabling workers to lift and naturally manipulate heavy equipment around the rail system without exposing them to risk of electrical shocks or falling. The robot's large torso is mounted to a hydraulic crane arm, which rides around the rail system on a specially braced rail car, putting down stabilizing legs when it's time to get to work. This is pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's Japan, so can't say I'm shocked that they're the first ones to. I think this is the first one to like do this, but I mean, fucking awesome stuff. Have you guys seen this from the article?
Yeah.
I saw the picture of it. I did not see the video.
But if you think about it, this opens up so much for like jobs that are really, really difficult to do. And it's not really taking jobs away from humans either, because it takes humans to remotely operate them.
I was thinking fan fiction.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Oh God, get Michael Bay away from Japan as fast as humanly possible, for the love of God.
I mean, it was only a matter of time before they built Gundams.
Yeah.
They've already built a Gundam statue, I think, in Japan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, like, can we make it move?
Right?
But I do love this. I do love the technical applications of this, in the sense of like, you know, reducing risk, especially for like these like more
Risky jobs.
yeah, these crazier jobs where like you're not putting people's or men's lives at risk. So I think this is the stepping stone for like modified like drones and robots to
I feel like this is the perfect instance of art influencing life, because they just wanted to make a gigantic robot.
Yeah.
And they're like, how are we gonna use it?
It's
This
high.
is how.
But you
You
know,
know it.
the question is, while it won't necessarily be taking work away from people necessarily in general.
It's a job that was done by several people versus a job that was done by one, so it did take work away from people.
Not only that, but like, is your average worker going to get offered the job of running this robot? No, probably not. So these workers are going to be replaced.
Well, I feel like just the way it works is like, as technology improves, other fields are opened up for other people to get to. What we need to do is make those fields accessible instead of putting a bunch of blocks in the way that don't need to be there. You need 18 years of fucking something to operate this gigantic Gundam. No, you don't. You can basically play games for 3 years and do it right.
If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's taught us that college is not necessary for everything. Because I don't know about where you guys live, but around my area, there's a lot of jobs that, because they are having a hard time finding people work, there are a lot of jobs that are now offering jobs that used to require a college degree or, you know, all these years experience to high school graduates.
Well, here's the thing. For a long time before like the COVID shit, every single job was like, we need X number of years of experience, and we need we need you to be a college graduate or university graduate to enter in an entry position. I feel like the entry position should just be available for anybody. If you want to enter at like a higher pay scale, then you have all the other things behind you. This seems like just the obvious way things should work. You want to spend all that money doing school, and you know, in some respects, getting more like probably getting to the place where you need to be to like excel to be at the top of that job scale, then yes, I get it. But like spending 4 years in school just to enter at the same position that somebody would be if they just like get rid of that idea, yeah.
No,
Bottom line is like 95% of jobs can be learned. 100% of jobs can be learned on the job.
Well, the reason why I brought up the stuff with the pandemic and everything is because I didn't graduate college, right? Like I still have a year left to go if I go back, but I'm getting all these offers for like social work positions, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even have my degree, but they're hiring for social workers so fucking bad right now that they are now offering jobs to people that don't even have the degree yet, and it's happening in a lot of different. It's not just social work; it's a lot of different jobs. But like in this scenario with this robot, probably not going to be the same thing, because whoever's going to operate the robot is obviously going to need to know the technical side, which these guys that are currently working in these conditions is not going to know.
I mean, the robot specifically will have to have somebody trained to operate that specific robot that has like a history in robotics. which would make sense. I mean, but it's not just the robot; it's all the software and everything that goes into it. In the end, a lot of like manual labor in terms of like work that's going to be done, eventually will phase out. But it doesn't mean that jobs will phase out from those people. It's just jobs will open elsewhere. We need to allow people to get those jobs without playing gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well,
there's
I
so
mean,
many
like-
jobs that I've applied for that it's like, you need 14 years of experience or 10 years of experience or 6 years of experience, whatever. I'm like, in what world am I applying for a entry level job where I have 6 years
Yeah.
of experience?
So,
Exactly.
That needs a college degree, because then you're assuming I'm 30 years old at this point applying for an entry level job.
mm,
Really?
well, this whole thing with like the robots and things like that, it's very comparable to it's taking away jobs from like the average working person, and it's very comparable to like Walmart, for instance, with their self-checkouts.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is opening up the job market to the average worker. Because gatekeeping them from doing that is just making, like, the thing is, most people can do most jobs.
Mm.
Like, yeah, you're gonna have like very few. The thing is, everybody that ever worked at like fast food or like any small shop or
Retail,
anything like
anything
that,
like that. Yep.
are capable of way more than that. So like, why limit them?
Well, and honestly, when I got hired at the company that I was working for this last time, that was actually what got me hired, was because I didn't think I had customer service experience. I mean, I knew that I dealt with a certain type of customer service working in, fast food and retail all those years, but that's actually what got me my position and got me hired, was customer service. Because she's like, I don't think that you understand. It's the same type of customer service. It's just your customer service was a lot more difficult because you're dealing with them in person versus we're dealing with them on the phone.
Customer service on the phone versus in person, they both have.
They both suck, but one sucks
Problem.
way worse than the other.
I also feel like for most places, fuck, I would give not a left shit if McDonald's turned into an automated business.
As opposed to a right shit.
Pretty much is
Completely.
already. We were just in
Oh,
McDonald's
completely.
today, and it pretty much is.
Turn it all mechanical.
I
Get rid of McDonald's.
I did see something like about like speaking. I was overhearing obviously everything, and the best part, I saw this joke recently on Facebook that said like, "Oh, Ash Ketchum is a 10-year-old boy with 22 years of Pokemon experience," and someone's like, "The perfect person every employer is looking for."
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, we want you for an entry level job that we're gonna pay you no different than McDonald's, but you need 6 years of experience. How am I gonna get 6 years of experience?
So many jobs I was looking at when I first got out here. It's like you need like 4 years experience doing this. You need bachelor's degree in this. You need master's degree in that. It's like, the fuck are you doing?
I don't
I
understand.
almost want to just put that
That's-
I've had 400 years of experience in anything.
That's
How? I'm immortal.
The typo?
the
No.
problem that becomes consistent when you take these entry level jobs that people used to use in order to get their foot in the door and get experience, but
Oh,
when you
no,
start making
it
those
doesn't
entry level
matter.
jobs where you have to have 6 years experience, well, how the fuck are you supposed to get the experience if
The
you
thing
if
is-
nobody's gonna hire you because you don't have experience?
The thing is, first of all, nobody's gonna hire you anyway for the most part, unless you have like a couple years in a shit job.
Yeah.
And then those couple years,
Yeah.
on top of say the 4 years you spent in college to get to the next level, now you're you go from 18, now you're 24, and if everything works well and you get the job, you're entry level, and you move up
Mhm.
from there. That's if everything works well. So the other thing too is assuming that people are robots and are gonna be like, I'm done with this job, I'm moving on. Sometimes you find a job and the pay's not great, but the environment is fucking awesome,
Mm-hmm.
and you stick around there for a while because of that.
Great.
But yeah, I don't know. Fuck, we need to rearrange how things work
I agree.
More Gundam suits.
for
Wow.
everybody. I want one.
I mean, shoot, I would love one too. It's funny. We started off earlier, the beginning of everything with like the Amber Heard stuff and like, Johnny Depp and like the cancel culture and stuff. And it's funny because one of the other topics on here actually kind of has to do the same thing. And it's funny because I didn't even really know much about this or hear much about this until I read this article about people trying to cancel fucking Chris Pratt as Starlord from the MCU.
This is not the first time.
This is news. Honest to God, this was news to me. I did not hear anything about this whatsoever. But the reason we're bringing it up is because James Gunn recently came and actually defended him. But
Who also got canceled.
Well, let me back up a little bit. So, over the past couple of years, Pratt has apparently come under fire for reportedly being a member of a church that promotes anti-LGBTQ plus views. Pratt's also been called out for his political stance after not being part of a Democratic gathering, leading to some fans wanting him canceled and replaced as Starlord within the MCU. The reason we're bringing this up is because numerous MCU personalities have come to his defense after these remarks, including veterans like Robert Downey Jr., Josh Brolin, who played Thanos, but of course, the big one is, of course, James Gunn. James Gunn recently took to Twitter to share support for the Guardians of the Galaxy star, and he basically said, someone's like, oh, if Marvel, hear me out, just replace him. And he said, for what? Because of your made up, utterly false beliefs about him? For something that someone else told you about him that's not true? Chris Pratt would never be replaced as Starlord, but if he ever was, we would all go with him. He isn't, and then someone, of course, directly accused all of this. He goes, he isn't. I know the church he currently goes to. Do you? The answer is you don't, but you heard from someone who heard from someone who heard from someone where he goes to church that said, yeah, okay, I believe this terrible thing I heard about this online about this celebrity. So it's like, again, the whole fucking cancel culture shit is just like rearing its ugly head. But it's nice to see James Gunn, who was also under fire too, wasn't he? As far as like being,
he was.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So,
and Dave Bautista's like, if he goes, we go too. So I like to see that solidarity.
Here's the thing. And so what if he does go to a church that doesn't like LGBTQ? Yeah. Have you ever heard Chris Pratt come on there? Have you ever heard Chris Pratt come out and say, I don't like gay people?
Right, exactly.
No.
He does not. He does not. He is not vocal about it. He doesn't say anything about it. He doesn't speak against anything. I'm sure he might be against it, but he doesn't go out in public and say, fuck Joe Biden or fuck Donald Trump. I'm going to fucking shove a broomstick up his ass with barbed wire on the end of it. Like, I mean, he doesn't do those kinds of things. So does it really fucking matter?
Right. Here's another thing. Obviously, a lot of people are more accepting of the LGBTQ community these days, but there are still a lot of Christian churches that are very much against gay marriage. So are you going to go after the entire everybody that's Catholic? Are you going to go after everybody that is Catholic just because the Catholic Church is against gay religion? Or are you going to go after everybody that is Protestant because they are against the gay or LGBTQ?
Yeah.
As an overall religion. Just because a overall religion may be against something does not mean that an individual person is, even if they do go to said church.
Yep.
I find the funniest thing is...
Here's the real kicker, though. Some random person online said that he goes to this church when he does not actually go to that church.
And that's fine, and that's
if he
fine.
did go to that church, I mean,
who cares if he goes to that church anyway? What purpose does it serve? To then, well, we gotta get rid of Chris Pratt. We gotta sign a petition to get rid of Chris Pratt because he went to a church that doesn't like maybe his fucking sister went to that fucking church and that's where she got fucking married. He doesn't go to that church. Like, people just assume shit.
The thing I find hilarious is like the grouping of people that have pleaded forever for tolerance and acceptance are now
very
the grouping of people that are
Not
persecuting
tolerant,
for intolerance.
And the thing is,
It's like, geez, man. Like, who cares? Who gives a flying fuck what he believes? He's an actor. This goes back to my original point about the whole thing. Just let him do his job. If you hate him, hate him. But
well, as JP pointed out, like, even if he did even I'm not saying he does, okay, by any means, but even if he was against LGBTQ, right? That's his personal belief. As long as he is not out there screaming horrible, horrific things about the LGBTQ community, allow him to believe whatever the fuck he wants to believe, because guess what? This is a fucking America, and we are allowed to literally believe whatever the fuck we want to believe, as long as it is not hurting anybody else.
Yep.
Let me say
Take
something.
this one step further, and so fucking what if he does come out and fucking say something? He has every right to fucking do that. It's called freedom of speech. He can do that.
Exactly.
You come out and say, "Hey, fucking gay people, what are they gonna do? Oh, you're persecuted. We're gonna hang you by your feet." Like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
You're not gonna do anything.
I mean, I don't think I'm alone in saying this. Like, I don't hate anybody.
No.
I don't care if you're gay or lesbian or transsexual or any of this shit. I don't really care what you do sexually. I don't care what you identify as.
Are you a good
I
person?
hate people, and
Yeah.
like of all fucking races and genders and everything. If you're a shitty person, then I'll probably hate you.
Yes.
So, and they exist in everything.
Yes.
So, why, like the world is being fucking morphed by shitty people because they speak the most,
and
because they think they matter the most.
And the sad part is it's the shitty people that are making people revert back to the way that things used to be years ago. You take the racism thing, okay? A lot of stuff a lot of people's views have reverted back to
Well, a lot
the
of
way
people
that
don't
they
think
were.
for themselves.
Well, no, here's the thing. Like, you're seeing a lot more hate coming out in regards to the whole race thing, but it's because people have gotten so, and I'm going to say white people, not white people in general, just certain white people, have gotten so fed up with being accused of being the bad guy all the time by certain individuals. It's not the entire fucking population of, like, minorities. It's certain individuals. Because of that, they are pushing people to revert back to old way beliefs, okay?
Well, I
And-
could say the
and
same thing
the
about
same
like
thing
the
goes for
black
gender.
community
Right.
before it was the white community.
Exactly, and the same thing goes for this whole gender identity thing. You know, you're pushing straight people, not everybody, but some straight people, to hate the gay community or the LGBTQ community because all of these things are being shoved down people's throats, and we're being told that we are not allowed to believe what we believe, no matter if we are right or we are wrong.
If you literally, and I've had this conversation.
And you're about to have it again.
I'm about to tell you the conversation that I had, and this is how people think. Somebody will say, gay people matter. Yeah, they do. They don't give a fuck. I don't care. Why do I need to care about? I cannot worry about my fucking self. Can I take care of myself and my family? Well, you're self-centered. You're racist because you think that way. Like, really? Am I though? Like, people assume, if you don't give a shit about a certain topic, people are like, oh, you're just a bad human being for not caring about the topic. Like, I literally don't give a fuck about. I don't care what you fucking do.
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of shit you're gonna give about a topic. Every single person is gonna be self-centric to a point where what matters is my family and me more than anything else that's existing on this planet. Unless it's like changing the tides of the way that people exist.
The way that I look at it all basically comes down to exactly what Basement pointed out earlier. I do not care what race you are. I do not care what religion you are. I don't care if you're straight, gay, lesbian, trans, whatever. I don't care. But are you a good person? Are you kind to other people? Because ultimately that should be what we are judging, not the physical.
That is what we judge.
That's what some people judge.
As a
but most
collective,
people,
no, but as a
as
collective,
a collective whole, do not go after that
No,
anymore. It's all about appearance. It's all about how you present
I
yourself.
think you're confusing like people with their internet personalities.
No,
or
because
in-
I'm going
no,
off
no, like I
people
mean,
that
I
know
think
in real life.
I think, like,
people are
the thing
fucking
is,
conceited
like,
as fuck.
no, but like the thing is, like, everything that has become bad about mankind recently has been like
Has been
media or social media in some way.
But like,
It's
I'm
all
just,
highlighted that fact. I mean, I've seen people that aren't really like famous. They're just not really famous, and they think they're like a big deal. And it's like nobody really cares, man.
I
Just,
agree with you 100%, but I'm basing my statement off of people that I know in real life. Like, if there's a lot of people that they judge people off of appearance, or they judge them.
But where do you think
off
they got
of,
that?
well, I don't give a fuck where they got that, but it ultimately
Well,
comes
that's
down
what
to.
you need to look at.
But
Because they didn't get
ultimately
it
comes
from
down
just looking at
to
people around them.
what I am saying. Ultimately, it comes down to the individual person's choice. Are you going to decide to be a good person? Are you going to decide to see people for who they are on the inside? Or is it going to be all about this like fucking bullshit that you see on the outside?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people judge people because they're told to judge people because they don't
I can agree with that.
understand.
A lot of it is just learned
I mean,
behavior.
well, in the end, it's like I mean, everybody is prone to it, myself included. Every single person is prone to like media influence, where you're gonna be taught to not like something. And with the internet the way it is, and I brought this up long ago, where like you're only gonna be shown something that's gonna just basically reinforce your beliefs. They're turning everybody into fucking an instigator.
I'll take that a step further, and it's not just media influence. A lot of it has to do with what's around them as well. Because like I know a lot of people that turned into shit people because their parents were shit people.
Well, how did their parents become shit people?
I don't know. Maybe their parents before them were shit people. I don't fucking know.
I'm telling you, it's almost 10
Some people that are
times out of
shit
10.
people. Like
There's influence. There's influence being done.
what I'm saying
Majority
is
of it by the media.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is there's influence from several different avenues, and it like media is like the primary one, but there's also several different avenues that
I
come
feel like
into play.
it might come from your parent or from your friend, but how did they get influenced? Is basically what I'm saying. Like
I mean, if you have a
look-
family
look-
of assholes that dates
look
back
at-
to 1876,
look
then
at-
obviously media wasn't around in 1876.
1876, everybody was like separated to a point,
Everybody was like stoic.
and things were more like, oh, she's in our house and she's this and she's that. And we have to be prim and proper. Or some shit.
Let's get it right now. Everybody back then was high on cocaine.
That's true. Oh, are we talking about that? Are
What?
we talking about that? Are we talking about the Elon Musk thing?
I do. I want to talk about that shit.
Are we talking about him talking about wanting to buy Coca-Cola and put cocaine back in it?
Back in.
No, that's a joke, right?
Okay.
I know it is, but I just find it
Can
fucking
I-
hilarious.
Can I ask you guys a question? Why are people so upset with him purchasing
He is.
majority stakehold in Twitter?
To them, he is extreme right wing, and
No, he's not.
He's not. He has called out the
all
bullshit
know
for
that.
both
It's
extremes.
like to have a brain and know how to use it. No, he's not the extreme right wing.
He's not even-
I mean, Mick Foley left. Mick Foley would run into a chair, but he left Twitter.
Yeah, I seen that.
He
Really?
He
Yeah.
is. He does. He
Oh,
does.
He said he's gonna
He
leave.
hates liberals and he hates conservatives.
Yeah,
So do I.
here's-
I
here's
hate
the
everybody as well. I hate anybody
thing-
that's like extreme in their viewpoint because you're wrong.
thing. Agree. But
You'll never
Elon
be
Musk-
right.
The funny thing is like, why does he need to buy Twitter? And I said, well, because he can.
And a lot of people are like, well, you could build a bunch of homeless shelters. It's like, I don't think you understand the homeless problem
Here's the thing.
No.
properly.
Elon Musk said himself on his own Twitter that I buying Twitter, he hopes to get it to where it's more neutral, and people are not having their Twitters taken away just by speaking their views, unless of course that view is like ugly and hateful and things like that. But like, he doesn't agree with the extreme right, and he does not agree with the extreme left. He kind of rides the middle, and that's what he wants Twitter to be.
Twitter has become
He said that
left-wing
and
show.
He called that out on his personal Twitter. He called it out, and he said basically that he wants to bring freedom of speech back to the fucking platform.
And people confuse freedom of speech. Freedom of speech isn't.
It's not hate speech.
It's not hate speech. It's just like, can I say something from a different point of view?
It's the whole idea of freedom of speech is being able to freely talk about your beliefs or your decisions or whatever you believe, and not get fucking jailed for it or hate for it.
So for anybody that wants to know anything about anything, is like somebody that's not a fan of AEW talking to AEW fans.
Freedom of speech.
This was Twitter before like anything. Like Twitter became like, you're gonna say anything that's not accepted by the majority, you're gonna be destroyed. And everybody's gonna be like, ratio, this is your profile pic.
I learned the hard lesson, fucking Cardi B fans. Jesus.
Freedom of speech is there for, you should be allowed to say what you feel, no matter what it is.
Even if it's if you say something like rude or hateful, then you will be held. The thing is, freedom of speech doesn't equate to like being held accountable for what you're saying.
That's my point. So when you speak, don't be fucking so defensive and well, I can say that. Well, the point is, if you say, Connor is a douche canoe, right? And Connor's like, well, I'm not a douche canoe. You are.
Or if you go up to Mike Tyson and say,
as an example, don't sit there and think you're not going to get backlash.
Yeah.
Because that's you can say whatever you want, but don't think
there is consequences for what you say.
There's consequences for every action. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
I mean, I think Elon Musk realizes like the overwhelming power of of the media in general. Because they control everything, and as long as they control every avenue of everything, it's like, they don't like this, or LGBTQ plus is the best thing ever, then you have to adhere to it all the time.
So he is the voice for the people that don't like the fucking media. That's what he is.
I mean, he tweeted out pronouns suck, and I agree with that idea.
You
tweeted at somebody that was like, my wife had to put pronouns in her email or else she was going to get fired, and I think that should be illegal.
Yeah, they think that's true. And I said, well, nothing is my pronoun. I'm not going to put anything because that is my pronoun. What are they going to do? Well,
but also, like, you're going to force everybody in your industry to put a pronoun, or somebody that's like, it's like, I'm actually a woman, but I'm a man, or I feel like I'm a woman. What are you going to fucking force them to put? It doesn't do anything for anybody. Ever. First of all, do you even give a shit about the sex of the person or gender of the person you're talking to on email? All I know when I'm emailing someone is, can you do this? I don't give a shit if you're a fucking golem or a goblin. Better be green though.
Right.
Yes, fucking green goblin. No, I'm sorry, I just came back, so I don't know if you guys are still on the fucking Elon Musk thing, but
Yes, we are.
okay.
For now.
He put out a tweet. Okay, the Coca-Cola one fucking killed me, right? But somebody tweeted at him and they're like, "Hey Elon, can you buy McDonald's next and fix all their ice cream machines?" And he replied back to him and he says, "I'm not a miracle worker."
Why does that motherfucker break down all the time?
Fixing their ice cream machine.
That's just Elon Musk. He's
fucking around.
I do have to ask the question though. McDonald's been in business for how long? How does it always break down?
I know.
Well, here, it's not that it always breaks down. It's
They're
just
cleaning.
sometimes when you go through, they're going through the heat cycle to clean out the tubes and all of that to make sure everything does stay working properly, and they could put fresh cream in to make the new ice cream.
Come on.
You said a lot of words that means it breaks down sometimes.
You know there's actually an app where you can download and see if the McDonald's in your area's ice cream machine is reported as actively working or broken. It's
You
gotten
know,
to that fucking point
Oh my
now.
god.
The truth of the matter is, the last time I had McDonald's ice cream, 15
Tastes like
years
shit.
Listen, Frosty fucking beats out that Handover Fest.
Yeah,
The
I just
the
don't,
only
I don't
thing-
care for you.
Fucking Dairy Queen blizzards all day, every day. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Yep.
McDonald's ice cream is the McFlurry.
I mean,
I mean,
I don't like McFlurry.
I
Like,
I go to the Baskin Robbins of my home ground. I work there. Where I'm a
Have a
pink cat, and I walk in. I'm like, you might know me, and they're like, get the fuck out of here.
all right. Well, I guess we'll pivot off to another interesting subject here. We only got a few more of these left. We're actually barreling through these pretty well. The next one is the next one is back with our good old friends, the FDA, and talking about once again everyone's favorite subject, COVID. So apparently, the FDA announced Monday that it has expanded approval of the COVID-19 drug Remdesivir to treat patients as, and this is where things get crazy, to treat patients as young as 28 days old.
Actually, what gets crazy is in 2020, they sat there and said, no, you cannot use this because Donald Trump used it.
So this is the first COVID-19 treatment approved for children that are younger than 12 years old. To be eligible for the treatment, the FDA said children must be hospitalized or have mild to moderate COVID-19 and high risk for progressing to severe COVID-19 if they are not hospitalized. The drug, made by Gilead Sciences and sold in, I'm not even going to try that area, has been approved to treat certain adults and patients 12 and older who weigh at least 88 pounds, and of course is a vaccine. So of course this begs the question, just like anything else, is this safe? Do we think we should be doing this with kids? Like,
So here's the thing. This vaccine does not cure.
right.
right.
No, that's not what a vaccine does.
This is I've said this since day one, ever since COVID hit. This is the new flu. You're going to have to get a shot once a year. At some point, I'm not against vaccinating, but here's where it becomes tricky. I personally feel it is up to that person. Some people don't like getting vaccinated. It is what it is. If you don't want to get vaccinated, then don't get the shot. But you're going to get sick. You're probably going to get sicker if you don't. However, I haven't gotten it yet. And trust me, I'm around people all the fucking time.
I'm pretty sure.
I haven't gotten this shit yet.
There are studies out there showing that some people have a natural immunity to this, but they have to get the vaccine.
Here's the thing. I agree with everything that you just said, JP, except for like the whole having a choice to vaccinate. And I understand that it's a choice. It is a choice. I understand. But when you have parents out there that are choosing to not vaccinate their children, not just from the COVID thing I can understand completely because the COVID vaccine is still relatively new. I have not vaccinated my children because I won't. It's too new. There hasn't been enough studies done with it for me to feel safe about it. However, other vaccines like hepatitis vaccine,
You
been around
can't
for a long time.
You're gonna get, if you don't get the hepatitis vaccine, you're gonna get hepatitis, and it'll kill you.
But here's the thing. The reason why I'm bringing this up, and Connor, I don't know if this is another topic or not. If it is, please tell me and I'll stop. But there's been a recent worldwide outbreak of hepatitis, in children. Where does that come from?
It's not the one that. I don't think it's the one that.
A lot of vaccinations hold water if it's a disease that's not constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
or a virus that's not constantly changing. And this is where like COVID is questionable, because COVID is a very strong flu,
Yes.
or a stronger version of the flu. I mean,
Yes.
I'm like in the end, I'm okay. I was always okay with the point to like promote getting vaccinations for it, because it's going to limit people contracting it. I was against it after a while, because it's like you obviously can't, like, I mean, obviously your hands are too full, government. You don't realize that it's out of control, and whatever you're gonna try to do is not really gonna matter anymore.
It's like,
Stop blaming everybody. Stop vaccinating the kids. Stop doing all this shit, because I mean, in the end, kids get sick all the fucking time, and unless you see like a spike in like child fatalities because of this, I don't see the reason to like go crazy with it. I mean, in the end, like the way I look at COVID-19 is it's a strong flu. It's always been a strong flu. That's it. It's been a strong flu, and people like that have like something else going on usually, or a weakened immune system might get completely fucked up by it, which is why vaccination makes sense for the majority.
Of my kids had it, and I'm not gonna lie, the minute that they got it, Bella, she was fine. Like, she was fucking fine. She had a runny nose. Other than that, she was fine. Austin, however, I almost had to take him to the hospital multiple times, and he had that shit for almost a month before it started going away. And the first thing I thought of was, oh my god, I should have gotten them vaccinated. But in reality, they still could have gotten it whether they were vaccinated or not. It might not have been as bad for Austin, but they still could have gotten it. You know?
The problem is, and this is the way I look at like the whole like world stalling for 2 years. This is what infuriates me. It's not the first time that this has happened. I think they looked at like COVID-19 spread rate and were like shitting their pants. But like, there's been viruses that have had a decent spread rate that were just as debilitating, if not more. That
The
they
flu
didn't
started
do
out
this for.
exactly like this.
That they didn't do this for, and this is where like. This is where I start looking at like fucking political games and shit. That's where I start looking at like the seedy underbelly of the real world.
If you look at history, when you look at the history of the 1800s, influenza began exactly the same way that COVID did. Killed countless amounts of people.
Yeah.
Killed more people than the fucking COVID did.
I mean, I just look at like COVID was such a big talking point until it kind of wasn't, and it completely coincides with something that happened in the world.
Well, here's the thing. Flu, okay. Obviously, like I just said, influenza killed countless people in the 1800s. Tuberculosis, that was the next one. The Black Plague. You can keep on naming them at one after another after another. The bottom line is, there's always going to be some virus out there that has the potential to turn deadly and spread very, very quickly.
I mean, the most dangerous viruses are ones that don't mutate.
The question that I have right now is basically just with like this kid's hepatitis thing that's going around right now. That concerns me because like it's all over the world and they cannot find a link between any of them to figure out what the fuck is going on.
I mean, how many people are?
He's not wrong.
How many people? Because the link that I think I looked at was like 1,000. So to me, I don't care.
And that's what scares me, I guess, because I have children, obviously, and
you know how many kids exist?
but
Many.
It's just one more scare, you know. As a
parent,
but
you can't live. You just can't live in the fear, man.
Well, no, I know that, but like
3.5 years.
Know that, but like I for me,
somebody could pick up your kid on the side of the road.
For me, it's not necessary. This whole thing's not necessarily a fear. It's a concern because mainly the concern comes into where they don't know what's fucking causing it, and it's happening in kids aged 1 all the way up to 17. So
The
you don't know what's causing it, and a couple of the kids have fucking died from it, and there's like a bunch of them that had to have liver transplants as a result of it. So
I
it's
mean,
not. Oh, it's as a parent, you're constantly fucking worrying.
I mean, the way but the way I look at it is like, what you can do about it.
Well, exactly, but like it's still a worry in the back of my head. You know, I'm a fucking mom with anxiety on top of it. I'm gonna worry about it.
Yeah, hepatitis disease in like fucking the opposite side of the world.
It's here now too, because
Now they have cases in Minnesota with it. And they just had a kid in Wisconsin die from it.
It's a virus. I mean, hepatitis is a virus. It's a viral infection. It's an inflammation of the liver.
Right, but
I mean,
never mind. You guys are out
you
of
get hepatitis. You could cut your finger on a knife, and you can get hepatitis.
Well, you can also get a bunch of other things.
Yes.
I'm saying it's concerning because there's more and more kids.
But like it's like you could fall down the stairs and die. Like I just like I don't know like what but no. What is your worry going to become?
I'm not worried about it. There's a difference between being worried and
Like you said you were worried about it multiple times.
just never fucking mind.
No, but like what okay. What does it equate to? Being worried or concerned or anything. How are you going to change your life to adhere to this new virus?
Stay away from monkeys and bubble everything. Bubble wrap everything.
I mean, that's what a lot of people are doing.
And it works.
No. Not always.
I know it doesn't.
I get Gina's concern because we have Wendy, and I understand that. It is a concern. However, what are you going to do? I mean, you can't. It's one of those things you can't see coming.
You don't
Exactly, but,
have
like-
control.
Okay, well, I understand that, but like, and I like JP just nailed it. Like, it is concerning, and it's not just concerning for my children. It's just concerning for children in general. Like, I care about children, like not
None
just
of them
my
have-
kids.
Nobody has control. So it's gonna happen
Listen,
regardless.
it doesn't matter if it's this disease or another fucking disease. If there is a disease that is being caused by an outbreak that nobody knows what the fuck started it, it is gonna be a concern.
Right. So what are you going to do then?
But the point is, yes, you are correct. However, being concerned gets you nowhere because then it heightens and
It does just like stress you out for no reason.
yeah.
You guys are acting like I'm spending every fucking day going, oh my god, my kids are gonna get happened. No,
Well, this is the way
I'm
you
not
explained it.
just fucking forget it. Just move on. Whatever.
You know what? I'm concerned.
being too overly concerned about one thing ends to a lot of misinformation being rapidly put out there, like we had with the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
I'm ready to fucking stab you in the eye with a goddamn fork. I swear to fucking God.
Oh god, it's concerning me.
Oh God, that was
All
concerning.
right. Amber heard his ass. I swear to fuck.
No, don't do
Swear to
it.
God.
I'm a sad dog.
Well, so in that case, and to pivot off, we'll wrap up the last article that we were going to talk about today, and then if there's any other topics to talk about. But the last one is one that, well, it's hard to explain other than a guy. I absolutely love this. Alleged smuggler with $40,000 worth of gold was hidden underneath his wig and inside his rectum, and was arrested by customs officers. This is the article I said at the beginning was like, yeah, this kind of fits with the show and the aesthetic. So I'm gonna share it with the Horny Goat members here, and I'm gonna share it with you guys in just a second. So just give me 1 second as I pull all this up and get this all squared away. But I actually have the actual video. No, this is not of his rectum. This is just of the wig. But take a look at this, and here we go. I'm just gonna pull it up in just a second. Here we go.
Jingle jangle.
It looks like it, but it's actually just melted down to a thin sheet.
Cheese.
Man, how did they pick up on that?
My question is not about his head. How is he comfortably sitting with gold in his ass? Is my question.
It's melted down just like that and rolled up very, very small.
Well, that's
So
just
did they like mold it like a fucking anal bead or like a fucking butt plug or something? There's so many questions.
Sorry, how much worth of gold was it?
Like, I need answers. I need to know if it was in the form of like a butt plug. Oh, it was in capsule form. Okay.
So why are they confiscating? Was this gold stolen?
No,
Or-
because he was trying to smuggle it without paying the taxes necessary
Yeah.
to export it.
Ever seen the movie Kangaroo Jack? It's a legitimate question, and I have a point. Just hear me out. Have you ever seen the movie Kangaroo Jack?
Okay. So gold is essentially money, okay?
Right, and that's what my comparison is with the Kangaroo
mean,
Jack.
Everything
Hold
that
on,
exists
hold
is
on.
essentially
Here's
money.
my point. Here's my point to this. So if somebody's carrying money in India, you're going to be taxed for carrying said fucking money.
Well, you have to
Or a
claim.
certain amount.
Just
Limit.
gold in of itself.
But
You
again,
you have to
is
claim what you're
essentially-
coming
gold is essentially money.
So this is okay.
Or
so,
it
like,
could be rings.
the reason why,
rings.
okay, so the reason why I brought up Kangaroo Jack is in the movie, they have to conceal the fact that they are carrying $50,000 because going into Australia, it's illegal to carry that much money because they're trying to eliminate not only people being robbed, but people doing illegal activities in the country. It's basically the same thing here. Like gold is equating pretty much to money, but smuggling that amount of gold and without telling them is basically the equivalent of committing crime.
Movie about a CG. Yeah.
I personally think that is like the dumbest thing fucking ever.
Like accompanied
Like-
by.
I don't fucking blame this guy. I don't blame this guy for doing this. Why the fuck did this guy's got gold, but he's gonna be taxed for carrying this gold? That's the dumbest thing
How
ever.
much is the tax?
Wait, time out a second. Connor, can you talk for a minute? Because Alpha said he thinks you might be muted because he couldn't hear you. Okay, well, Alpha, let us know if you can hear Connor. So
My point is, in other countries, if you carry money, you're going to be taxed, and I don't give a fuck if it's gold, because essentially gold is money. That is the dumbest thing fucking ever. We're gonna punish
I
you.
just wonder
We're
how
gonna
much
punish
tax-
you. We're gonna tax you for having money. The fucking makes no sense.
Well, it's
yeah,
an
Alpha's saying
importing-
that you're nothing, Connor.
There's only a certain amount of money that you can
There we go. Fixed it.
transfer between countries on your person.
I disagree with that though.
But that's just a lot.
I get it. I understand that, but I disagree with that. It should not be a thing.
Yeah, well, it is.
It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing fucking ever.
The thing is because a lot
Well,
of
the thing is, you
countries-
can go to like Uganda and sell a bunch of weapons and make $1 trillion and walk back with the money.
the thing is a lot of people.
That's a different thing.
The thing is, like, okay, you take a certain amount of American money, right, and you go to Thailand. Well, the American dollar is worth more than
How many
I
sell?
forget what.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what they call it, but I think it's called a dong. I literally think it's called a
I thought
dong
it
or
was called
something
the
like that.
bot.
Anyway, American money is worth more than that. So they're trying to eliminate people bringing in, let's say, like $1 million over to like Thailand, and then becoming like billionaires over there.
Oh man,
That
it's
makes
still
sense.
gonna like
There-
translate no matter what. Like the way that like the money
So
works.
here's the problem with that. You know how fucking dumb that sounds? Because everybody wants to come here and live the American dream. What if I want to fucking take that $1 million and go live the Thailand dream? What
Well,
the
if I take $1 million American and go to Thailand, it's worth way more. If I take $1 million worth of American money outside of Thailand in American dollars, I'm gonna end up with $1 million in American when I come back.
Fine, but I'll be a billionaire in fucking Thailand.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Then you're living in Thailand.
Just never go back to fucking America because now I'm a billionaire in Thailand because I'm living the Thailandy dream.
Yeah,
also
you
think
can
of
go
that-
anywhere you want. Like this is why everybody pays attention to how much money is worth. You can go pretty much anywhere in the world and your money is worth more than what they have, unless you go to Europe.
Mhm. And the
I
thing is, I think
When I was in Haiti, I dropped a penny on the fucking ground. I'd never seen a bunch of kids run so fast in my life.
like, for instance, going to Australia, you have to claim it at customs that you have over a certain amount of money. I honestly, like, in places like that, I think that they're trying to prevent people from being robbed, tourists being robbed of like large amounts of money, and they're trying to prevent illegal activity.
Well, a lot of the time you can't transfer over the border with a lot of money on your person because they're gonna think that you're going there
For some other
refuge.
nefarious purpose. Yeah.
I got my debit card. I got my debit card in my back pocket, and I have $50,000 in the bank. That's illegal. Then.
Well, I mean, you can
No.
have $50,000. No, that's fine. It's on your
It's
because
cash.
money can't be cash
person.
can't be
Cash
traced
or
the same way
physical,
as
yeah.
digital money. For that reason, yeah,
Also do that in order to prevent like felons from like fugitives
Yeah.
from crossing state lines, because like, hey, you take that what the fuck was his name, the Max Caster or whatever the fuck is, not Max Caster,
Max
he's
Caster.
no, remember the makeup guy's nephew, the one that fucking ran to Mexico and dog bounty hunter fucking caught him. What the hell was his name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That guy. he ran to Mexico. He took
Probably the bounty hunter.
God, what the fuck was his name?
I've never seen an episode of
He
Bounty
was-
Hunter.
No, he was raping or drugging and raping women.
And he was also like taking
Hold on,
money
I'm
over the
Googling.
border.
Yeah, he ran to Mexico and he took like a shit ton of
His
money
name was
with him.
Max Caster.
His name wasn't Max Caster. His dad or his uncle is like, he owns a big time makeup line.
Was he a mage?
What?
Nobody gets me.
Oh, what?
Nobody
mage.
understands. Yeah.
It's a video game reference you will never ever understand.
Nobody gets me. Except for Heather.
God bless if we
I
tried.
love it.
Basement.
Yeah.
So, that being said, before I was gonna do a couple more of these, a couple more of the rando questions. Was there anything you guys wanted to throw in there or add before we?
Let me say that guy really meticulously cut his hair beautifully. That's all I'm gonna say.
I want
Well,
to
they
know
do-
how they
X
found
Factor.
out.
That's his goddamn name, Max Factor. It was his nephew. Sorry.
You dealing with the Max Factor? No,
That's shit.
Uncle Cracker reference. No, okay.
It was close. I was close. I
Okay.
said Max Caster. Okay, it was close.
You
I have nothing to add. Just the draft, the NFL draft was this past weekend. That's about all that I know. And I did a lot of cleaning and lifting, and my body hurts, and yeah, that's all I got.
Gotta take more sweet tarts, man.
I'm gonna say
You know, I did that last night, and holy shit.
That
the oldest.
that
The thing is, we need to go into an actual store and find out which ones that are more targeted for pain rather
Yeah.
than sleep.
yeah.
Oh, I'll Google.
The oldest person in the world died. They were.
You know, I heard that like 35 million times. Like,
They
the
were
oldest.
yeah, but hold on.
Like,
How old were they?
119.
Damn.
She had loved playing board games, solving math problems, and eating chocolate. And also, she looked like a number 4.
Rest in peace.
Like literally the number 4.
so if the next oldest lady or oldest person dies, then they're going to be the oldest person dies.
What's the record?
I don't know.
I mean, do you want to gaze upon her?
I really do not.
I need an explanation somehow of how
The
she
number
looked.
4.
Holy shit.
That's exactly. Let me see this.
Oh, what the fuck?
What? Okay. Did she?
How does she look like the number 4? She just. Oh, I get it.
What?
I get it.
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
God damn it.
Get it.
She
looks like number 4.
So the oldest person ever in the world recorded was Jenny Louis Calment, and also thought that chocolate and port were her secrets to a long life. She was born on February 21st, 1875, and lived to be 122 years old and 164 days.
I mean, her secret to her long life was she was always asleep.
And one
So,
day she
I
just
have
took it a little too long.
I have bad news for anybody that's a chronic weed smoker.
Well, good thing I am that.
Says frequent marijuana smoking has been linked to higher risk of heart attacks.
No, dude, good.
Yeah, your mom.
And
Something needs to attack me.
and munchies. So on top of that too, you know, always gonna get the
I
munchies.
mean,
mean, that's the
it
thing,
raises
is it-
probably. The thing is, it just like it just all it does is it raises your heart rate.
That's my question though. Is it caused from the marijuana itself, or is it caused from
Yes.
eating all the junk food?
No,
Ladder.
smoking weed
Both.
and eating edibles raises your heart rate.
Does it though?
Yeah, but it
Eating
doesn't increase
food-
the chance for a heart attack.
Because I'm gonna tell you
Well,
right.
that's why it increases your chance for a heart attack.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I had an edible last night, and I can tell you right now. I think my heart rate was at 5.
100. No, it's more than you think.
No, I know.
The
I feel like
the
it.
eating of food means nothing in the long run unless you're.
What the fuck are you
8,000
talking about?
pounds.
Because if you eat, okay, for instance, when I used to smoke, right, instantly craved like a bunch of just horrible shit, right? Like I wanted
Yeah.
hamburgers,
Used to.
I
Yep.
wanted
Okay.
French fries,
Yeah.
all that shit that's just covered in grease. That's
Uh-huh.
obviously going to increase my risk of having a heart attack at some point in time if
Yeah.
I'm doing that consecutively.
But like the direct relation, like smoking marijuana is not gonna increase your risk to eat shit to then have heart problems.
I disagree because like
No, like here's the thing.
tell me you don't get fucking hungry when
You're
you're
linking,
eating.
you're
when you're smoking.
you're linking one to the other to get to a conclusion.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you my experience. Like I get hungry.
Yes,
as
I
shit.
know.
Uh-huh.
I know.
But you don't
That's
have to
okay.
eat those things. You can still eat other things.
No,
It
that's
increases your
bullshit, 'cause, like,
appetite,
Or
yes,
you can
but
eat
Bullshit,
nothing.
because like if you're fucking high as shit and you have a craving, like you need that thing.
Okay, so that's not. But the thing is, that's not marijuana. Marijuana will give you the need to eat, and it will give you an increased heart rate. It
You
doesn't
realize that
automatically
It's
put
an increased heart rate that you are hungry because your body's metabolism
It
rises.
doesn't put
Is it?
burgers in your mouth.
Dude, you do realize at this point in time, I'm just arguing for argument's sake, right?
Yeah, I think.
I really don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna break your legs.
I mean, you're gonna break my legs. I'm
Now
gonna
she's
beat you like
concerned.
you never heard. We're good.
Oh, so my pinky finger.
We
That's
gotta-
not bad.
You two arguing is like I gotta be on edit. Like
Told you to take one at the beginning of the show, man. You didn't want to listen.
holy shit! But it's just like I don't know if you see me last night. You two the other night were fucking going at it on fucking Wednesday night. You
I'll
two
always
were
argue.
fucking having a interesting conversation. I'm just like, oh fuck, here we go again.
He does. He argues with me just for argument's fucking sake. It
No,
drives me nuts.
you're
I
wrong.
enjoy it thoroughly because goddamn, it's entertaining.
Literally, it's as if you're listening to a brother and a sister fucking argue.
Right, when the sister's always wrong. Hmm?
Yeah.
I am not always wrong. Fuck you, Connor.
Sister.
This motherfucker over here is wrong 90% of the time, but most of the time he just doesn't want to admit it.
90%.
Fine, I'll make it a little bit more.
I've turned my head like
Fine. We will make it a little bit more even, and you are wrong 55% of the time.
55%. My head is turning like 90 degrees.
All right, we'll do a couple of these
Listen, we're
questions.
gonna play the gender game. I'm the woman. I'm fucking right. Shut up.
You don't know what I identify as.
I'll only do a few of these because we have to wrap up because we're just shy of that
Oh my
3-hour
God.
mark on this episode, which is crazy to think. But all right, so a couple of these rando questions, and of course everybody in the chat's willing to participate as well. What would you say is the best and worst purchases that you've ever made?
Oh fuck.
The
I've bought a
best
lot of stupid
purchase.
shit.
Okay, the best purchase I ever made was like a self-starter for my car. That's
Ooh.
also, it's like a charging block. It can like if you have a blackout, it can charge phones. Anything with USB port, it has a light on it. It can start cars, and it doesn't even need to be charged for. It can start cars like 8 times out of 10.
Not bad.
Greatest thing ever, and it was only like $70. The worst purchase I ever made was on a plane ride home that I bought like a portable what the fuck's it called? Like
A neck pillow?
no. It's like my mind is lost for what it is. It displays a screen on a large piece of
DVD
no.
player?
No.
Shutting down.
What's it called? The projector.
Wow.
Holy
Okay.
Oh.
I bought a projector for but for like a mobile device.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay.
It was shit. Never worked, and it cost a lot.
Oh God. What about you guys?
Heather, go ahead.
Best purchase I ever made or we ever found was the melatonin for Wendy.
The worst purchase we ever made was said melatonin.
No, I think the worst purchase I ever made was a fucking color corrector from the dollar store.
Well, there you go.
How much
It was
does
like
cost, though?
the Wicked Witch of the West green, and it's super thick, and just the foundation I had at the time did not cover it at all, so I looked sick as fuck.
I mean, it's gotta cost a lot to be the worst.
The best purchase for me was a burger at a burger joint.
That's so generic.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give it. That fucking burger was
What was
awesome.
the name of the burger place?
The
Burger
bright
joint.
spot
What is it?
has it there.
The Bright Spot.
It's really good.
It's literally this little dinky hole in the wall
Oh, those
bar
are the best places.
type place
Yeah,
that's
those
right
are-
across the river.
Yeah, it's right on the river. And my worst purchase was said burger because it gave me the shits.
Double-edged sword for sure. Gina.
My best purchase was probably my deep freezer that I just recently bought.
Okay. Recent bias.
Oh no, the deep freezer. I've been wanting one for years, and we needed one desperately. Like we didn't have our freezer's tiny. So, but the worst. God, I've bought a lot of stupid shit. Worst purchase I ever made was probably buying my last microwave, the microwave I have now. To be honest, because like, thing's a piece of shit, and it has been from day one. Oh no, take that back. The worst purchase I ever made was the computer that I bought in college because that thing was a fucking piece of shit the day that I fucking got it.
I would have.
Is it a Dell?
Oh, it was a Hewlett. It was a Hewlett Packard. So I thought.
They're shit.
those are
Like,
Hey,
right, but
you
like,
can suck my dick.
like the last time I bought a computer before that, which was quite a few years before that, Hewlett Packard was still like a pretty decent brand. So I was like, oh, it's an HP, you know, whatever. I get it home and it is immediately like fucking retarded. Like if I even so much as like waved my hand over the pad for the laptop, the whole thing, like the arrow would just fucking go insane.
Well, I mean, you disable that part of it, but the HP.
I can tell you, number one problem in that purchase is buying a Hewlett Packard.
Yep. I agree, 100%. I did it. I failed.
It's Hewlett Packard.
Well, whatever it is, I don't give a fuck. You guys have been calling out my fucking mistakes in my verbal speech.
It's okay. You're
really
it's okay.
fucking suck a dick. I don't care.
Gina, it's okay. You're the protagonist.
I hate you all so much. So much. Right now, it's just
best purchase for me is
on a bag of dicks.
that was your worst
But
purchase.
you're the protagonist. You're supposed to be like.
To be
I
honest,
am gonna fucking stab you in the goddamn eye with a fork. I don't care if I have to drive to fucking Canada. Word to God.
Don't bring any, just don't bring any money with you. They'll tax you.
Don't bring a slingshot.
Best purchase was air fryer, no doubt. That's probably
That's a
the
good
most.
purchase. That's a good one.
I don't fry anything.
That's our best and
Oh,
worst.
but that's
our best and worst purchase because we bought one and it worked for about 2 months and then
Died.
Well,
I got one for.
Like there's no grease.
I got one on a Black Friday deal. It's been
It's all
great. We don't
salty.
use it all the time, but it's really convenient if you want to like throw whatever in, and it just does it. It like obviously heats it up and gets everything like really super quick. We made a couple of dishes with it, so I think it's probably one of the better purchases we made. The worst purchase I made was a matter of this is when I was still collecting wrestling stuff. I had bought what I thought was a Boston Garden poster that had like it was one of those old school posters that had like, you know, the name and the letter, you know, all that. It had like Killer Kowalski on there and had the card and everything, and Bruno was on there, and it was really cool. And I spent like not a huge amount of money, but more than I usually would on like a piece of wrestling memorabilia. But it was from eBay. And this was before when they like got super strict about like making sure that you were very clear about what you were getting on eBay. So I thought I was getting a poster when actuality it was no joke. The card was about that size.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's sad.
$75 for a card that size. I was pissed. Still kept it. So if you had to change your name, what would you change your name to and why?
I personally hate my first name,
Too.
so the name that I would change it to is what you guys call me.
Dad?
Lover?
No.
You can legally just change your name to JP.
You could. What's it stand for? No, that's the name. JAYPE.
I just don't like my first.
Hate you, Connor.
I just.
JYP.
I would rather be a fucking Fred than a fucking what my first name is.
I think I just broke basement. I don't know if you heard me. I said JP's my name. JAYPE. JP.
I fucking hate my legal first name.
Well, I know it.
So if I changed it, it would honestly probably, well, not if, when I change it, it's going to become legally Gina. I've been known as Gina since I was fucking a year old anyway, so.
Heather Basement.
Quanda.
That's pretty.
See, I would go the obvious, like Mike Rochburns. You know what I mean? Like, come on. There's so many opportunities with shit like, you know what I mean? That's the way I would go.
I think I would change my name to Winter.
Ooh. You like that?
I could be
My
Summer.
name is Summer.
One of the people that I work with, her name is Summer.
Yeah, I'd be Summer.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
listen, you have to go with something, you have to go with like a Hollywood name, like Kumquat.
That's not a Hollywood name. My
Like
name is
Ron
Summer.
Chi.
Children are getting from their Hollywood parents. Yeah,
Oh,
I would think I would legally change my name to Winter Rose.
I'm gonna change my name to Senior Kids.
Papa Woody. That would be my name.
Papa Woody.
Papa Woody.
I'd never be allowed anywhere close to a school.
Nope. I didn't. Which it's a win-win.
I
My name
think
is-
Jason would legally change his name to his YouTube, to his Twitter handle, Canadian Bullsman.
My name is Senior Kids.
Listen, it doesn't matter what you change your name to, you're always going to be fucking Basement.
Yeah. Last one is, what's the worst commercial that you've recently seen, and why was it so bad?
All of them.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
Hey, oh
Every
God.
single one. You know what? The last one I watched was that Nintendo Switch commercial with Jessica Alba and her family. She's like, yeah, I'm going to play. And then, like, all of a sudden, the kid has like a fucking garter belt that has the Nintendo Switch controller on. Like, what is this?
Commercials
Why
used to
are
be
they
so
all of a
fucking
sudden
good.
Nintendo Switch?
The commercials used to be so fucking good with like characters and
Oh
jingles.
my God.
And
I mean,
Because
the funny
the
thing
best
is,
commercial.
what's that?
for the sorry, Gina. For the longest time, I just wanted to do like parodies of commercials, but like YouTube doesn't allow them
No
to
shit.
be recorded. It doesn't allow them to be recorded, and I'll be like, oh my god, they're so terrible.
So
I will tell you the best fucking commercial ever.
yes.
It's the sticky commercial. Comes with that shedding pussy, get a sticky.
So
It's the best.
There's an obvious answer here.
so when I was in high school, we had a class called mass media,
Mhm.
and we had to do commercials, and we had two classmates, the valedictorian and the salutatorian. They made a commercial, and if you remember the Summer's Eve commercial, they actually went to the beach and shot a douche commercial.
Oh my God.
It's like, Mom, I got that not so fresh feeling. Well, we are at Governor Dodge. It doesn't smell the greatest here. No, Mom, that's not what I mean. It was great. It was a great commercial, man. Them two are fucking geniuses.
I think
Or valedictorian and salutatorian.
I think any of those local commercials that just either try too hard or don't try enough.
Right.
Because I feel like they it's one or the other. It's when you get those like local commercials for like either, and it's, you know, you obviously say like a car dealership, but even like a local restaurant when it's like the low quality, like they recorded on a fucking VHS player. Yeah. So, you know, it's just like, I think those are usually the worst ones because they either like try way too fucking hard with like the acting and shit like that, or they are just fucking. I mean, I've never seen instances of somebody phoning it in so much. Those are probably the worst ones for me.
I could top you with that. I don't know if your states do this, but here in Wisconsin, we have the Teens Against Texting and Driving commercials.
Well, those are actually
Oh
pretty
my
good.
God.
They can be annoying, but they're for a good cause.
Yes, I have seen those. Basement might know this. The Canadian PSAs.
Oh, they
Are
are so
fucking
bad.
My God, but they're
nightmares.
so bad. They're
Yeah.
great.
They are nightmares.
You guys remember when Cardinal used to do the fucking PSAs?
There was
I miss those.
They are 100% nightmares.
I wish
one
Cardinal was.
that I
I wish
saw.
Cardinal would fucking do those again.
There was a PSA in Canada I saw, and I just like, what the fuck? And it just escalated.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, a texting and driving one or a seatbelt one or something like that. And so this guy's driving his car. I have to laugh because it's just so fucking like, what the fuck? And he's
Just the wine
driving,
glass.
and then he fucking like swerves because he's hitting like, he's hitting like a curve, and the car starts to roll, and it just so happens that when the camera pans back, it rolls as it's on top of like a cutaway cliff, and then there's like a fucking picnic of school children, and then it just like rolls and then it cuts. I'm like, what the fuck?
It was literally the worst case scenario. It's like, well, you know what? We need to scare them stupid. It's
It's
like,
so fucking bad.
how is this allowed on regular TV?
Let me see if I can
First
find
of
one
all.
real quick, actually, because now I want to find
Hey.
it.
I mean, there was the one with the
you
rebars.
did
That
it.
one was terribly bad. The machinery was terribly bad. The one where like they put the wine glasses in front and kept driving, and it's like,
So-
oh my god, my kid!
I don't have a favorite Geico commercial, Aaron. I want to kill everybody in those commercials.
The
Actually,
worst
I like the one with the bikers.
that all of the ones out of all of them that are the insurance commercials, Progressives is the worst. I cannot stand Pro.
Progressive is fucking awful. Good God. Okay, and to backtrack for just a second, Jurgen says, and I've never heard this name before, but he said if he had to change his name, he would like it to be Edgerton. I hope I'm saying that right.
Wisconsin.
Yes.
I'm always on the edge.
Yeah, my favorite Geico commercial is the one with the bikers. I like that one.
All right, give me
I
a
mean,
second
the
as I'm
best
just pulling up
commercial
the.
ever is always going to be
Sticky?
the in your house Sting commercial. Come on,
Fuck you, man. The sticky commercial is the fucking best.
where he throws a kid against a wall.
It doesn't beat problems with your shedding pushy. Problems with shedding pussy. Get a sticky.
I don't know, man. Throwing a kid against a wall and then beating the shit out of him.
So I apologize. It was not a Canadian one. This is an Irish one, but oh my God, it's still not that much better. Give me 1 second while I pull this up, and it's terrifying, and I'll show you guys
I
why.
mean, all the Canadian ones were really bad too. I'm not gonna lie, they
Alright.
were like super grotesque for some reason.
Oh, 1 second. All right, ready?
There's something playing in the background. I can hear it.
What's playing in the background?
Oh yeah, I have music. I have background music this entire episode.
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go.
She's
yeah.
got a smile that it seems to me reminds
Oh,
me
I
of
remember.
childhood memories.
It's gonna fucking make me cry, isn't it? Like, I fuck Canadian TV.
It's not Canadian. It's Irish. I was wrong, but just
I remember this shit.
yeah. This is the one I was referring. I was wrong. It's not Canadian. It's Irish.
At least they give you a backstory with kids. You know, make
Do you want that, though?
I was just gonna say,
Wait,
like,
wait,
they
wait.
took a really fucking twist.
I'd probably break down and cry.
God, I
Had to be Sweet Child of Mine. Really.
It wasn't even him.
Fuck!
Oh my
Since 2000, speeding has killed the classroom children. Shame on you. You can never control the consequences if you speed.
What the fuck?
Rewind for a
He
second.
has lost control of his vehicle. I was going too
Okay,
fast for a turn. Good.
There is a moment where
I'm out of sync.
hold on. There's a moment.
Stop.
There's a moment where the car rolls over the kids, and I swear I can hear split.
Yep, you do.
Yes! The cartoon swoosh and then squish sound.
It went.
Okay, but
Oh
Wait,
my
wait,
God,
Connor,
I died.
you said that it faded away before it gets the kids. It did not.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even do anything wrong. What is this for?
It was
You
a
just sounded-
speeding
you're
PSA.
going
It
too
was like
fast.
too fast around a wet corner.
It's an
Oh,
anti-speeding.
Game on you.
It's a little too much.
Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
god.
yeah, the splat was hilarious.
Oh
Like,
my god. Like,
in
what is
what
wrong with
world?
us that we're fucking laughing at this shit? Like, what is wrong with us?
Oh god.
oh, it's the sound effect.
Alpha just said, well, that
It
was morbid as fuck.
I mean, I died as soon as the sound effect took place. I couldn't take it real anymore.
Oh
Okay,
god.
Jurgen says that you're supposed to look up the DC hero, whatever that is.
DC hero. Okay, let me.
I agree with you, Alpha. That was morbid as fuck.
God, fucking. There's like another one that I remember was like something about like don't go into like a,
Rebar one was terrible.
here's the
The
thing.
Canadian ones are terrible. Like they're like
could-
grotesque.
Here's the thing.
The splat.
I could see like that commercial being played in America, but in America it would be cut off before the fucking splat with the kid.
I mean that like I laughed as soon as the sound effect took place. They didn't need the sound effect
You're
at
fucked.
all. Oh, whatever.
I
Oh,
can't
we're all
seem
super
to
fucking
find.
Commercial, I think. It didn't.
Oh my god.
Let me see.
Look at the Canadian rebar PSA. That's pretty fucked.
God.
Yeah, I can't seem to find. I'll have to look it for next time. If you can send it to me. If you can send it to me, yeah, Jurgen on Twitter or something. But anyway, that's a high note I think we can't really top. So on that note, we want to thank everybody for joining us for another episode of No Bucks Given.
Splat.
What?
Splat.
Splat. So
I
good.
didn't
So
ex- I didn't
disturbing.
expect-
We're all going out.
Of
We're
all
all-
things, I didn't expect that sound effect.
I know, I didn't
Literally,
either. I
we're
thought
all
it cut
fucking
off
going
before. I
out.
didn't expect it to go the full Monty distance. But want to thank, of course, Basement Gina and the power couple JP and Heather. Anything you guys want to throw out there before we wrap things up tonight?
Just that Jurgen said, Tricken?
That's Tricken. Tricken.
What do you want to call him?
I-
How do you pronounce your actual name?
His
Fuck.
name is Jurgen.
So, go down, going around corners, all right?
We don't
Or-
probably-
Otherwise, you're gonna get too so flat.
The flat, no bunch of school kids.
Splat.
God,
Fucking
he's the best.
I'll go into hell.
You.
Yep.
Every time one of us fucking died laughing, we're all going out.
No,
I'm
you're
laughing
going
just because how
first.
fucking like absurd it is.
Going first, because I'm gonna remember.
I do. No, doublet.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
pretty.
God.
I think I might go to heaven.
You don't sound so sure of yourself on that.
Well,
If you get into heaven, then we're all getting into heaven.
no.
Yeah, put in a good word.
word.
Anyway,
I've done
Love you,
things.
bud.
anyway,
I've done things behind the curtain.
thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys, I believe Monday for the Marvel Roundtable. Make sure you follow us on the socials. Follow us on Twitter at the Horny Goat 1. Subscribe to youtube.com/Horny Goat if you haven't done so already. Check us out on your favorite podcasting platform: Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, and of course Anchor.fm. We'll see you guys Monday for Captain America: Civil War on the Marvel Roundtable. And until next time, y'all, peace out.
Your mom, you love her.
Please, for the love of God, slow the fuck down.
Especially in Ireland, apparently.
Especially in Ireland, where it rains all the time, I guess.